you have to be so used to these cameras. This, like, being on camera is just what you do.
The light thing is, you never get used to that though, bro, right? Because like the worst part any battle rapper will tell you is when you're standing on stage, they're getting you mic'd up, right? And there's the glaring light and all the possibilities just run through. You're like, what if I forgot? Oh shit, what's my first? What if this dude has like the round of the, you know what I mean? And it's all because of the light. And then once you start going, you're good. But yeah, that light is always it's the least favorite part. You know what I mean? Like,
It helps though. I feel like the forgetting is like the least of your worries. This is one of the most exciting days for me that I've ever had on the podcast. I have to say, like, real deal. The legendary battle rapper lives up the block from me.
man, it's a small world in a smaller city, man. I appreciate you, bro, for sure, man, for sure.
I knew who you were, like, as soon as, I mean, it's crazy to try to tell the story of how I got interested in battle rap and kind of how my life intersected with it because of the Rap Olympics, which was actually like Hip Hop Olympics, I think, in Detroit or Ann Arbor, where I performed and I did some like beatbox thing with a guy on a violin. And then we ended up in a studio with this dude named DJ Marquise, and he played us these unreleased Proof and like D12 records. And then there was a battle at the Neutral Zone in Ann Arbor, Michigan, where like Binary Star was kind of doing some recording and things. And I beatboxed for a rap battle that Proof hosted. And he gave me a nickname, I Boogie. Then there was the video which I showed you from the basement, which was like Mystery Inc. And I don't think there was really anybody important in there. Like I sent you a link to the YouTube or everything. But the point is, I've loved this culture, this thing, as long as I've loved hip hop, which is like since I was, a little kid. And I just have so many questions to try to figure out where this thing started and how you became who you are.
Yeah, man, and a huge shout out to Proof. I never met him. I'm very good friends with some people, some MCs from Detroit that were very closely connected with him, Marv and Quest, and he was literally as connected with the underground artists and helping them as he ever was on the high end with the D12 stuff. So what a legend, man. Like, what an absolute legend, man. So, and the love, bro, they don't miss every year on his birthday, every year, on his passing, like any artist in Detroit, they shout it out. You know what I mean? So RIP a legend, man. I'd have loved to have met him, but yeah, man, just a great artist in person for sure.
He was cool as hell. So the two you were talking about, just for people who don't know, is Marv One and Quest McCody.
So Marv One and Quest McCody. Marv One, he hates when anyone brings this up, but he's actually in 8 Mile. He's in the bonus footage. You know what I'm saying? So, excuse me. You could look it up. He battles Eminem or whatever. He smokes Eminem, like smokes. It's on YouTube forever. And it's so funny that you say that because before I got heavy into I remember watching the extra scenes with my homie, and I saw this dude Marv One. I was like, yo, this dude is insane. And then, years and years later, like he's a dear friend of mine, and Quest is a legend obviously as well. And so just Detroit is just such a important city for hip hop and battle rap in general, beyond 8 Mile, which is the first thing that jumps out. But
yeah, and that's the Shelter. So the venue underneath St. Andrews Hall was where, the kind of legendary battles that Eminem took place in, took part in before his career. But he wasn't just at the Shelter, right? He was that was like, I guess, the hip hop shop and the Shelter. But he was also something that you participated in, right? With Scribble Jam.
I actually had two. I had a chance to it's just hilarious to say as like a white battle MC, but Quest McCody threw an event and I actually headlined battle rap at the Shelter. So like, and I want to say 2009, I battled at the Shelter, which was, a super cool experience. You know what I'm saying? Wow. But yeah, so Scribble Jam was big from like 97 to 08. Yep. And so I was able to do Scribble Jam twice. That's in Cincinnati, and Eminem did Scribble Jam as well, and he ended up losing to Juice, I believe.
Yeah, MC Juice, and he Was it Idea also one of the MCs or no?
I believe Idea won Scribble Jam. Idea did Scribble. Mac Lethal.
Yeah, Mac Lethal. Wow.
Yeah, Mac Lethal was really
What
good in Scribble.
amazing talent.
There was oh God, Rhyme Fest. Rhyme Fest used to smoke people at Scribble.
Yeah.
You know, and he's obviously done tons of work with Kanye and whatever over the years. But yeah, man, Scribble was a unique, super dope experience, and that was kind of like one of my first experiences with battle rap.
So it's a totally different thing now. And I think it's important to try to paint a picture for people like that are listening to this that have no idea what battle rap is. But at the time, it was rapping over beats. So Scribble was definitely over beats. And at some point, it shifted. And I think maybe telling that story will help to kind of talk about how you got your start, what hip hop was for you growing up, how you became an MC, and then how battle rap kind of changed as, I guess, your career progressed.
Yeah. So with me, the first time I saw anything battle rap related at all was Jin. And it was on MTV.
Whoa.
And I was blown away, man. And like, you know, his ability to turn people's disses on their heads and the shock value and just the reaction that it garnered. So I started rapping probably seriously like junior, senior year of high school. And that's about the time I saw the Jin footage and whatnot. And so I started like, you know, roasting people at lunch tables, that kind of thing. And there was never like, no one ever was like playing beats. You would just like a cappella roast people. And then I started doing local battles in the city. We had a thing called, and this is right probably about around college, we had this thing called Rhyme Calisthenics.
Of course. Stretch?
Yep. So Stretch hosted this thing called Rhyme Calisthenics. And I learned early on, first of all, when I first started rapping, like my music sucked. Like the quality sucked. I just had nobody in my ear to be like, yo, bro, don't put that out. You know what I mean? So like I know some people will be like, oh, I got a 20-year-old song that's terrible. Like I won't even let my son hear like my early works.
It's come so far. The statute, the beats on the statute, the hooks, the way that your verses are crafted together, it just, the progression, and this is completely separate from the battle rap, but I was listening to today and it sounds dope. Like the production is Big Germ, I guess.
Big
and like
Germ's on there a lot. Yeah.
It's mastered appropriately. Your verses kind of, the features are all dope, and you're putting on a lot of people from battle rap community too on those verses.
Yeah, records. You know, there's so many people that make. I mean, obviously, there's the age-old rumor like battle rappers don't make good music, which is nonsense. And so I love when I get to put a battle rapper on a track with me and just be like, yeah, this dude is a monster, right? So, but I promise you, it started bad. Like it was, you know, we were recording in my homie's attic, and it was all bad. And we didn't send it to anyone to mix and master or any of that. But that being said, I realized early on that you get more of a reaction from somebody when you battle than like, yo, check my song out. First of all, 9 out of 10 times they don't want to hear your song, or they're just like, yeah, that was cool. But if you can do like a dope or funny cut on somebody, they're like, yo, and everyone wigs out. So I saw that early on. We started doing these rhyme calisthenics competitions, and it was super dope, man. It was like a Wheel of Fortune, and it's cut in different slices. And Stretch was a host, great host. We had DJ Huggy was on it, and you know you would spin the wheel, and whatever it land on, you'd have to do. So one of the things would be like mirror match. And they play, I'm talking to the man in the mirror. And then they bring a mirror. You had to roast yourself. And there was judges and all this.
Oh, wow.
But I learned early on. And now at the end, there was a prize. So the prize would be like $300. But at that time, $300, you might as well $1 million for fillion. You know what I mean? You're paying me. So
right.
I learned pretty easy on that if I turned everything into a battle, right? So one of them would be like a spoken word. I would just turn it into a roast. You know, and Mac Miller would participate and did a lot of the rhyme calisthenics when he was really young. And so that was kind of my first exposure into really seeing like, okay, I'm really good at this in the city of Pittsburgh. And sure enough, man, I went to do a battle, and there's this judge outside. Everyone's like, yo, it's the legendary Ron Noodles. I had never heard of Ron Noodles in my life. So we're all ciphering. And he takes a diss at me in his cipher. Like, so I start battling. He smokes me, but he smokes me by way of smoking the homegirl that I was with that wasn't my girl. But he just was like, this is your girl, da 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 da. So he pulled a trick. He got one over on me, smoked me. Anyway, in the battle, I end up losing in the second round. I'm leaving, like, all right, whatever. We're driving out. Ron Noodles gets a hold of me. I guess my number was, with the people that organize it. And he said, yo, come back. Somebody dropped out. We want you to come back.
Dope.
Which was dope. You know what I mean? Because he could have just been like, to hell with this dude. I already smoked this dude. He needs to know his place. I come back. I win it. You know what I mean? And then he starts to talk to me about this thing called the World Rap Championships. I'd never heard of it. I didn't even have a computer, bro. So I go online at the library in Southside, and I'm hooked. I watched this Thesaurus and Ilmac, these WRCs, and then there's a clip I'll never forget. It says, Thesaurus wins Scribble Jam by beating Tut. I'm like, what's Scribble? So I find out that there's this tournament, and again, I had no idea about this. I find out there's a tournament every year in Cincinnati. I'm like, that's where I got to get to. And so Ron was going to open up a Pittsburgh WRCs because there was different divisions. And if you look at the WRC's footage at the end, he always got credited. So he set up a WRC battle with me and this dude, Ajax. And we ended up doing a battle. There was like nobody there. There's still footage of it. But it was cool because I used that footage when I said to Scribble, like, yo, I'm trying to get in, blah, 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 blah. So that, that kind of propelled me. There ended up being no WRC Pittsburgh or whatever. I go down to Cincinnati with no assurance to get in. I battled because they allowed me to do the prelim there because you had to win a prelim to get in.
Yeah.
And the fucking legendary Pumpkinhead was the host. Rest in peace, an absolute icon. He was the host, and it was as 8 Mile as you can imagine. Beat, on beat, crowd reaction.
Yeah.
And it was boom, boom. And I won in the first round. All I had to do was beat this dude named The Riss, who was there. He was like a regular there.
Yeah.
And he beats me off crowd reaction, close. And a battle I thought I had won at the time, whatever. So I'm devastated. We just drove all the way down there, me and my homies, but I'm like, all right, I'm going to stay and watch the show. The dude tells me, Kevin Beecham, I think was his name. He was the host with the dreads and shit. He said, look, man, hang by the gate. He said, because there's some people that don't show up. We think you nice, boom. So I tell this story a lot. Next day, I'm by the gate, and he takes like me and 3 other people that was nice by the gate. So boom. So first round, and there's thousands of people there, because it's a festival. Scribble has like, KRS headlining or Atmosphere, whatever. It's a big.
Yeah, and there was DJ competitions as well.
Multiple. You're right.
Multiple competitions.
All kinds of shit, man. It was amazing. So I smoked this dude in the first round. I'm riding a high. And the way Scribble works is, you rap, they rap, you rap, they rap. They don't even tell you who wins. You just stand by the stage and be like, all right, if they call me again, I guess I beat that dude. Now, I knew I had smoked this dude. So the next round, they're like, yo, can we get Thesaurus and Real Deal to the stage? So this is like 8 months after seeing this dude literally was one of the most amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, like I've made it to the mountaintop, and I'll never forget, man. He just turns, it's Thesaurus with the most shit-eating grin and goes, and I'm like, all right, so first round, back and forth. Second round, he just flipped everything I said, just cooks me, right? I get back to the hotel, and I'm like, well, this footage is gonna come out. And everyone's going to say, yo, Thesaurus is a legend, but that dude was pretty fire.
Yes.
But it does not happen like that. Okay? This is my, like, one of them things like, I'd be like the Bayonne bleeder, right? Like Muhammad Ali beat him, but he stood for 12. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
So again, I'm waiting for this footage. And when I say footage, it's somebody who's recording on their phone. I go to the library every day because I still don't have a computer, sign in for the 30 minutes to get my flowers. And finally, it drops. Somebody had put it out or whatever. I'm like, click on it. And I don't know what kind of language I'm allowed to use. Or whatever.
Anything,
okay,
yeah,
so
thesaurus rapes.
this dude should kill himself in the red and black. Look at this maggot, but not the M. You know,
Wow, wow,
die. You're the
wow.
fuck. And at the bottom of the computer, it says 28 minutes left. Like, do I still want to be? I'm like, get me the fuck off this internet. I should never battle rap again.
Wow, because you're paying for the time. Or no. You
I'm
get
not
a
paying
limited
for
amount of time at the library.
Yeah, but I'm
Wow.
like, I had seen all I needed. This.
Wow.
I mean, these people
Wow.
are just cutting into me. I had this red and black Echo stripe shirt on,
Yeah.
right? And they're just like, Buddy in the red and black should just fucking die. He's the wackest fucking person. Boom, boom, boom. And I got off the computer and I remember thinking like, okay, this was the definition of I was just a big fish in a small pond. Like, I am not built for this. This is, thankfully,
Little fish in a big pond.
no. I was just good in Pittsburgh.
Oh, in
is what I
Pittsburgh,
meant.
you were the big
Right,
fish.
Right. And
Got
I, you know what I mean, could not swim with the other ones out
Yeah.
there. So
Yeah.
that's what I
But you were up against literally
right.
top 5
far
all-time
before
dead or
I
alive.
should have been. Right. You know what I mean? Not read, but
But you didn't know that.
not when I'm reading from,
Yeah.
anonymous kill yourself guy 6, 7. You know what I mean?
And you would have opportunities to face him again. And
but what
Arcane took your chain on some Debo shit.
Dog. But what happened?
Holy shit.
What ended up happening with that was I come back. I do regain confidence and I get back in the rhyme calisthenics swinging and I get back to Scribble. This time I win in a prelim in Cleveland, and so I have a cemented place. And when I'm at Scribble, I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna walk in. All the people battlers from last year are gonna, but they were all like, I'll never forget my man Sonny Bamboo was like, yo, you were here last year with the red and black, and I'm like, yeah, and he's like, bro, you're fire. You should come do grind time. We're doing it in the Midwest, and I said, yeah, I'm the dude that got smoked by Thesaurus. He said, bro, we fucking all have gotten smoked by this. Every one of us at this stand out here. You see no can do's over there. He's lost him. And I was like, damn. And never again did online comments bother me really much after that. But
Don't read them. Post and ghost. That's the best advice I ever got. It's just like, what's the point of reading it? It's, none of these people can do it. That's the only reason they're commenting.
But your
if
first
they could do what
exposure
you
to
were
it, though,
doing, they would have just been doing it. They wouldn't be.
Your first exposure, though, you're and to get back to your question, how I knew the times were changing. So, if you ever seen Almost Famous, the movie,
Yeah, amazing,
when
amazing.
Philip Seymour
Watch or listen to Tommy with a candle burning.
Oh, bro. So do you remember when Philip Seymour Hoffman says to him, like, you're around the last kick of rock and roll, like the last. So I knew that when I was on the stage at Scribble on the side stage and I heard people like, yo, I got a whole round if I battle this dude and if I battle this, because I said, well, that don't sound like really freestyle, right? You know, I'm like, that kind of just sounds like motherfuckers that have some and then the crowd wasn't as big, and I think right around then grind time had started to come, with these, and I'm like, oh, it's only a matter of time, you know what I mean? And so I was around, like I said, I was the Almost Famous era of that freestyling, and that's when I kind of knew, bro, like
it's evolving, right?
Yeah.
And the evolution is necessary. So once you take the beat away, or sorry, it's the opposite. So once you allow the writtens to take precedence, once you accept the fact that it's not all freestyle. So it was this thing like, you're not even freestyling.
Right.
Like there was this, if you used writtens, you were, garbage.
Right.
You were a loser.
Right.
You couldn't. But once it was acceptable, then you couldn't have a beat, because there's nobody who can perform all their writtens over a beat the same way that you can perform your writtens a cappella.
There are leagues now. There's one called Verbal Warzone where they do on beat battles that are written, and they're actually pretty dope. There's been some clip, you know what I mean? I haven't done it yet. I would like to do one.
Yeah.
But it just was time, bro. It was just time, bro. Like first of all, it was the same 8 beats in rotate, fucking Dead Wrong or fucking Mob Deep, or the Mob Deep joint. You know what I'm saying? And you spend half the beat just trying to stay on beat and use your crutch words to come back and and I'm roasting this guy and the formulas and it was just time, bro.
It was stale.
That's it, man. It just ran its course. It was an awesome thing for the time that it was, and but I knew I saw the writing on the wall, and the drop in the beat out, and at first like it was minute rounds, which is crazy to look back on. And I mean, it was a hard cutoff. Like somebody would 56 seconds, you'd see a hand
this is
go up.
important. This is important on timing. So now you're what you're talking about is that the rounds are much longer, 2 minutes, 2.5, 3 minute rounds.
And with a lot of grace, bro. Like, which is kind of pisses you off at times, right?
It creates issues like in your third against B Magic when you say, what happens when you lose to a white man? I ate then. And then Smack cuts your time. What's the next bar?
Was going to be better go home and tell him I'm light skinned, right? So, but he randomly cut me off, which was so random to this day because he hadn't cut anybody off.
Nobody.
And I'm like, damn, like, why did I get the axe out of anybody? Because, when you go back and look at the battle, like, B Magic's phenomenal in the battle, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like it's any kind of like, okay, that's enough. You proved your point. Like, B Magic's phenomenal in the battle. So, like.
He needed the edge, possibly. Like, maybe there were people in the crowd or Smack who kind of, like, wanted, there's always going to be, like, an influence or, like, not necessarily a script, but there's going to be some kind of preference given, and all those things factor in when you have like the supervision and everything.
I kind of preferred the way it ended up, though. I think it gives like a little, you know what I mean? Because
the mystery is dope.
I get asked about it a lot, and the same thing that you brought up earlier about the Thesaurus battle. When I came back to battle Thesaurus, and he humbly accepted it, and I lose to him in overtime. We go into overtime, and he beats me in overtime. And many people thought that I had won, and actually, quote, losing when they thought I should have won, I think boded for me better than had. And then, like, Mac Lethal was one of the deciding votes that said I lost. I lost by 1 vote. And then Mac Lethal battled Thesaurus and had a line where he goes, basically, if it wasn't for Uncle Max, to get pulling through on a friend thing, you wouldn't have beat real. So like it just, I think it made people fans of me more so, right? Like, oh, look at that dude, he's dope, and he got screwed over, and he just came back, and so sometimes these things like they make their own endings, and it works out better like that.
I think that's right. I mean, and maybe more importantly, it worked out how it worked out, right? The rest is history, man.
Yeah.
So, wow. Importantly, during that B Magic battle, you said even your chick put cheese on the cracker. Now I'm headed to the Ritz to pound.
Let's go, man. Let's go. Yeah. Well, here's the thing, bro. When I went into that battle, I said, all right, the elephant in the room is clear. Like, I'm the white dude battling on Smack. But what I'm not going to do is pander and be corny. And, I'm going to find an interesting way to address it. So that the whole, what time is this shit at the beginning? That's another thing. I was not supposed to play out like that. I thought Smack was going to answer me. And then a bunch of people in the back answered me, and it just ended up perfect. But it was just like, look, man, this is who I am. I drink beer and I say shit like this, and this, like, let's have a good time. I'm going to say some dope shit. I'm not going to get up here and pander and be corny. And it's truly, man, it's one of my favorite battles. And that's bro, on the same card, me, Big K, and Chilla Jones made our debut all that weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
So
on Smack.
Yeah. Yep,
wow.
Yep. Big K had the night before had just an unbelievable PG, and then Chilla Jones battled on that same card that I did. His battle was before me.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So one of the things you mentioned, I definitely want to cover from. It was another interview you did, but one where there was just audio, I think. And you mentioned private eye, looking people up before battles. Was that in relation to what you knew other people had done? Is that just an idea of like doing investigation, or is that like an actual something that happened?
Well, see, I think battle rap had come so far, right? So like, bro, when you were freestyle battling, let's be honest, the majority of the time it was like a lazy race joke or calling someone gay somehow. So if we're going to say, okay, we're taking the beat away and we're letting you write, you better write some more interesting shit than that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
So now you're like, all right, well, okay, what does he do for a living? We can make some funny situations out of that. Or, now there's always the point, like, you don't want to delve too deep. You don't want to really go me personally, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to go too far into somebody's personal life. But if I can make again, I teach, man. So when people make funny lines about me teaching, I commend it. You
There's
know what
some
I'm
good
saying?
ones, yeah. Those who can't do teach, those who
Right.
can't
There's
teach Jim.
Right. There's some really good ones, man. And so that's when I think that point, you know, once it became in the written area, you're like, all right, well, let me find out a couple things about this dude, and then let me make some name flips and some punchlines off that for sure.
Fair enough. Yeah, like at least figuring out what people's like governments are or whatever. Like
right,
June.
right.
Yeah. So, so one question I have is about what attributes make somebody a good battler. So, does it have to do with that ability to know yourself, to know what your weaknesses are, and to be tolerant of people breaking you down like that? Like, what kind of a person is able to go to work in a job where people are making fun of you, using the deepest, darkest secrets about your past to say these negative things? And what kind of resilience do you have to have in order to listen to that and shake hands with them afterwards and drink a beer?
I'll tell you what, man. I've had some wild stuff said to me. To me, my only thing with battle rap was always, don't touch me. Like, you know what I mean? There's no need to physically, you know what I mean? And you can get your point across. Like, if you put an arm on my shoulder and did what, I don't care about that. But like, so I've heard people say some of the wildest stuff, but at the end of the day, battle rappers are some of the coolest, nicest, like most authentic, genuine people, bro. Like, they really, really, really are. And I think being a fan of battle rap myself, as well as partaking in it, sometimes you just appreciate the other person's work, even if it is at your expense. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're like, damn, like that was incredible, even if sadly you're on the other end of it. So I've heard some, and I've seen obviously a million battles. So I have seen some things that people said or some secrets revealed that were clearly damaging. Like, I've seen households get broken up, or I've seen people get fired, or you know what I mean, or never battle again, that kind of thing. So how they felt on it, I don't know. And I always say this too. How I feel about what people say in a battle is not universal. And people have to understand that, because some people will be like, well, it's battle rap. People should be able to say what they want. Okay, well, and there's repercussions. You know what I'm saying? Like, there just is. Look, if I'm getting paid what I'm getting paid, say what you want to say, bro. Like, just don't touch me. But there are many battlers that, you know, hey, look, man, this is my dead so-and-so, or my that said, don't say this, don't cross this line. And, you know, who am I to say that they're right or they're wrong? So, you know.
So those conversations might take place before a battle. There could be some stipulations from somebody that you're going up against, that a text message is exchanged. Hey, like, say what you will, but we're not going to go there.
And that's also risky too, right? Because you might say, hey, don't talk about my dead aunt. And someone's like, oh, damn, I didn't know your aunt was dead. Let me write this bitch in around. Yeah, you're right. I got you. I ain't gonna say shit. And then all of a sudden, second round comes and dude's like, let's talk about this dude's dead ass aunt. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah, it's great. It's kind of grimy like that, right?
So there's I guess the idea is there's common sense.
Yeah.
Hey, if it's public, this dude's mom died or whatever.
Yeah.
That should be common sense. And then there's, hey, by the way, don't mention this, and this. Like I said, there was a period of time in battle rap, a very, very quick period, maybe a year, where the cold, mean, cutting, like that kind of shit hit hard. And then it phased out quick because people was like, all right, this is kind of whack. You know what I mean? Thank God. You know what I mean?
But you mean the culture itself had shifted into like a bit of a dark place?
I don't think I really fuck with this anymore.
What years do you think those were?
Probably 2010.
Yes.
To 11, you know? And I myself had a line towards somebody, and I ended up hitting him up like later, like, yo, that was whack on me, bro. Like, I don't know why. Like, and we're like really good friends to this day or whatever. We're not really good friends, but we're friends to this day. But it was a quick period where it was like, for shock value. That's what I'm looking for. The shock value bars, right?
Yep.
And then that quickly became like, this is actually kind of whack. Like, you know what I mean? And thankfully, battle rap kind of,
It pivoted back around, and now we even have compliment battles. You did a compliment battle with Roan.
I have one of my favorite battles. It's just such a fresh, interesting thing to do, and because I think in battle rap a lot of times, a lot of battle rappers tend to sound the same. A lot of the subject material is very similar, the deliveries, and it can get stale. So something about compliment battles can be so refreshing because they're funny, and sometimes the humor angle gets lost in battle rap. And I love a good funny ass battle. I'm not saying I want every battle to be funny, but like,
bring humor back to battle rap.
Please, man, please. There's nothing wrong with every time I think about it, I think about the Kevin Hart sketch where he talks about the thug laugh, where how thugs be trying to not laugh and like and it's like, bro, it's okay to laugh. Like, it is a great feeling. And again, some of these battle rappers, I mentioned Marv One before. A lot of these guys outside of battle rap are some of the funniest people you would ever meet. Just like literally,
yeah.
Their observations, the shit they say, their quips, their comebacks. It's like, man, and some of your most popular smack URL battlers are fucking hilarious. Like, Clean Paper is one of the funniest people, bro. Like, and so it's great to see that plugged into their rounds, and sometimes those make like legendary like rounds, man, the humor ones.
Has anyone ever gone from battle rap to stand up?
So there have been some people. I know Dirtbag Dan has done some stand up. There's a dude, Isaac Knox, who's done some stand up. And Uno Lavos, Lunar C over in the UK. There's a dude named the UK. He's really funny. Shuffle.
Oh yeah. Shuffle's
He's hilarious. But the only thing I always say about that is, some people say, "Oh, Real, I saw that angle where you roast a dude for XYZ. You could do stand up, man." I'm like, nah, don't do that. I'm like, stand up is I can't even imagine, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I would never insult a stand up like, oh yeah, I can do this, so I can clearly do that. Like, that shit. I always say the two things I never want to watch is a horrific bone break and someone bomb, right? Like either Paul George's leg or the situation doing the roast. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, ugh, I can't watch these things. So like, no, I think that's a misconception that like, oh, this dude's funny in a battle, so he could probably do stand up. Because I don't know, I've seen people, and Isaac Knox actually he has a tour. Like, he tours around. Like, he's doing very well off his stand up. He's one of the better ones I've seen doing it.
The Dozens, going back all the way to the origin of hip hop, that you're talking about battlers being funny, roasting each other, kind of talking shit. Isn't that where it all comes from? The whole origin of hip hop, people sitting on a stoop making fun of each other.
I mean,
the Dozens.
Yeah. I mean, I just, like I said, we did it when we came up poor to mask the fact that we was poor. So if we had a little bit more going on than you did, we'd rather people look at you than fucking look at us. You know what I'm saying? So, there's that end of it. And, but I just love, like, again, with the humor factor. Sometimes battle rap, it can get stale. You know what I mean? And I love to turn on a good battle with funny angles, man. And some of my favorite humor is the dead face, dry humor that some of the like super street battlers have.
Of course.
You know what I mean? It's way funnier than like this prepared boom.
I think about Conceited as being like one of the funniest people I've ever heard.
Unintentionally hilarious. Just like that. You know what I mean? Like, unintentionally hilarious, bro. Like, or like Big K is hilarious, both outside of battle rap. And well, then you have, of course, the legend Pat Stay, who is just unbelievably funny.
Rest in peace, man. What a terrible loss. Jesus.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But
was that not even a year ago?
Little over a year.
Okay.
Yeah, September,
Last-
early September.
last fall.
would've been a year. Yeah.
Wow. Crazy. Yeah, terrible. I guess he was stabbed in Nova Scotia.
Stabbed, yeah, man. He was at a wedding party, and then I guess he got stabbed at a bar or something across the street. Unfortunately, apparently the dude had some problem with Pat, and I mean, again, I don't. That's all hearsay, but Pat was trying to squash it because Pat was such a fucking nice guy. Like he had so much going and so much to live for. Like,
He had a little girl.
Yeah, he had a little girl and a little boy, and so he was more so just like, yo, bro, like this, whatever, and
yeah.
And then, so
Damn.
just fucking rock the battle rap.
A lot of. I mean, there's been a lot of loss in the battle rap community, and I guess I kind of want to go back to that question about what type of person is willing to tolerate these slings and arrows.
Right.
Is it that you can take it on sometimes, and you can go to that kind of dark place, and you have to have an outlet for it. Like you have to have some kind of escape in order to not internalize all the negativity and all the things that people are saying about you. Or maybe it's just like the grind of being a battler, being on the road, like having the stress of the not necessarily having the support that it's had in the past, the fracturing of all the different leagues. I mean,
so I think the first thing is, obviously you got to be thick-skinned for sure, right? Because even those, quote, the ones that say don't reference this, like you can't, if you make those lines, like if you have don't talk about this or this or this or this, eventually someone's going to be like, yo, I'm going to fucking talk about it because it's battle rap, bro. Now you're doing too much. Now you're trying to handcuff what the fuck I'm doing. So
yeah.
You got to have some sort of thick skin, and every battle rapper that's at any point of succession in the game has their black eye, right? Whether they beat addiction or they were arrested for this or this, blah, 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 right? And it's going to get used and it's going to get flipped, and you as a student of the game, you have to appreciate it, So I will say there's been, and to come back to it, there has been a lot. I've actually been around a lot of good people that we've lost in battle rap, but none have been a result of anything battle rap related, right? Like they've just been like that. The past state had nothing to do with battle rap. And Bender had nothing to do with battle rap. Cadillac Ron had nothing to do with battle rap. PH and it, again, man, like there's been a lot of battle rappers that I knew, just good guys that, so
Soulcon, no, JK,
he's back, man.
Lost him to liberalism.
Look, he's back in a big way, man.
I got Soulcon stories.
Yo,
we used to put Soulcon on in New York when I lived in the city. We used to put on Louis Logic. He's not really a battler though, but I'm trying to think who else.
Soulcon is back.
Yeah,
gay.
No.
And you didn't know this?
No.
He's gay. He's
had a
bi.
wife.
He's bi.
His wife, the whole story was about how he was pissed off at me because I didn't give him enough drink tickets for his wife.
He is bisexual now, but by his own accordance, and he's a stern supporter of Free Palestine. As like he's doing,
right.
Which
Big
is
Palestine.
Right.
Big Palestine guy. As a Jew, it's kind of like, all right,
that's
just
what I'm saying.
High five Hitler.
He went
just
from,
give Hitler a high five.
He went from, you know what I'm saying? Like you look.
Well, it's more complicated than
12
that,
years ago with Soulcon, right? He liked the embrace the Jew thing and the calling everybody a ragged with F, right?
Yeah.
And now he's like,
yeah.
well, actually, I'm bi.
Wow.
And while we're at it, Free Palestine, you're like, all right, man, let's.
It's all part of the same pizza. Like when you start eating that, like you get this pizza, and one slice is Free Palestine, another slice is gender politics, another slice, and it's not like people will just take one piece; they take the whole pie. So it's like you take it all if you subscribe to that type of ideology.
Well, I need to, and I actually had talked to Disaster.
I wish people would just eat one.
Week or so ago. I need to definitely educate myself more so on the issue, and I really want to get up with Soulcon just because. And I commend Soulcon. Like he is using his platform, to go to bat in a big way. And again, Disaster too, and Disaster's obviously facing a lot of bans and shadow bans and all these things.
Yeah, Diz has been real outspoken,
man. And you know what though, like we don't understand. We took Disaster for granted for so long.
Yeah.
His disaster is Middle Eastern. He
Oh, yeah,
is
he's
from
Lebanese, right?
Right.
Yeah,
He is.
yeah.
And so he has direct family that's being,
For sure.
and it's breaking his heart, man. Like
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah. So this is awesome. I get an opportunity to talk like this because I was thinking about going on Wednesday just by myself and addressing all this. Gad Saad is, of course, the Lebanese Jew that has a lot to say about this. And I would say if anybody's interested, that would be dope. If you're interested in hearing from a Lebanese Jew that was expelled from Lebanon for being Jewish, Gad Saad would be an interesting person to look into and follow. Anyway, there's not a lot of Jews left in Lebanon. There's no Jews in Gaza. Zero. Israel is 25% Muslim. So you can't be Jewish in Gaza, but you can be Muslim in Israel. That's interesting. The other thing that I'll say is I'm the descendant of Holocaust victims, man. Like when I grew up, my dad showed me the family picture and just said, look at here. This is the person, this is, Mr. Avram. He was a judge. This is, Goldstein, who did glasses. This was Rebecca. She was a tailor, whatever, all killed by Hitler. And it's a whole family picture, like a wall. I mean, I don't have relatives on my dad's side. They got them all, dude. Like they cleared the shtetl out. Like we're from Poland, you know what I mean? Like everybody was gone. Like it's Czechoslovakia, Poland. So the people that made it, that was just my family, man. They came and settled in Pittsburgh in 1920 to 1930. The only reason that I exist is because my great grandma, Rebecca Feldman or Rabinowitz, was like, we got to go.
Right.
And, convinced her husband at the time to come. He was a peddler on the streets of the North Side until he earned enough money to get her over, and then one son, which was my grandpa, Lou Goldzer, and, wouldn't let him work in the watch shop. He said, you have to go to school. So they wouldn't allow Jews at medical school. So he ended up becoming an eye doctor. That's his fraternity pedal right there from optometry school. I only have like 2 or 3 things from him, but yeah, they had a shop on the North Side, and that's like my connection to Pittsburgh. Yeah. It's like, that's why I'm here in a big way. So that being said, the Holocaust was a fucking thing. And what happened during the Holocaust is Jews didn't have anywhere to go. Like there were whole boats that would come over from Europe full of Jews that would get to the shores of America and be turned away. Like the U.S. said, fuck you, we're not taking you. We don't take immigrants here. We still have that situation happening for many people who are trying to get into America that say that, that are saying I'm being persecuted at the southern border, whatever. People are being turned away. They have, all kinds of things, whatever. I'm not saying whether that's good or bad. I'm just saying that's a thing that happens. You can't just get into any country.
Right.
Well, that's not true anymore. There's a country called Israel where no matter what your story is, if you're Jewish, you can go become a citizen. You can go live there. And that was the whole point. That's ostensibly, that was the point of establishing the country of Israel, is that we needed a homeland. We needed a place to go to be safe when the next Hitler came along. Because there was 100 Hitlers before Hitler, bro. Like the Jews have been persecuted ever since we existed. It was pogroms in the 1800s. In the 1700s, we had more pogroms. In the 1300s, we had the Inquisition, where they used to force Jews to eat ham and pork in Italy, you know what I'm saying? In Rome and Italy. So in Spain. Okay. So the point is, and that's why Jews went into lending money, is because we couldn't own anything. We couldn't have land. So we had to carry a bag of gold on our back. And that's why we became money lenders. That's the whole story of the Merchant of Venice. Anyway, all that collected to say that we need a homeland. I don't know if it has to be where it is, but it has to exist. The point is, it does exist there. So, possession 9/10 of the law, I think it probably it's not going to go away as long as we support it in America. But there were definitely Arabs living there before they established the country of Israel, without a doubt. Right. People were expelled. And the big question is, should they be allowed to return? Should they be allowed to be made citizens of Israel? Do we need 2 states? Do we need 1? It's fucking complicated. I don't know the correct answer.
Right.
I do know that it's really fucking sad to see little babies get blown up.
Unfucking real. And the thing that's tough though is
on either side. So
trying to sift through what's propaganda and what's real fucking news.
So true.
You know what I'm
so
saying?
True.
So I actually was over in the Middle East in the summer.
Yeah.
I had never been there. Was there for a week, had a wonderful time in the people were great and all these things. And I felt so bad that the only media that I ever catch of like Middle Eastern shit is violence. It's always fucking violence. It's
Yeah.
never. And so I'm like, damn, these people are so fucking nice over here. And,
Yeah.
and fucking.
Where'd you go?
Dude, I was in Tel Aviv. I was in,
Tel Aviv's
right?
amazing.
I was in, Jerusalem.
Wow.
Yeah, I went
What
to
a trip.
the Dead Sea. I fucking did like 3. I did super touristy shit, right?
Yeah,
I went
yeah.
to where fucking Siege of Asada. I went to, you know what I
The
mean?
Masada, amazing.
Yeah, fuck,
Had a
man.
bar mitzvah up on top of Masada.
Bro, it was incredible.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and the fucking nicest people. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
great food too. You like
Definitely
the
try to
falafel?
sell you some
Did
shit. They'll definitely try to sell you some
Yeah,
with
those little
direct eye
paintings and shit we got
contact
one
too,
down.
bro. Like so that was kind of fucking interesting. But dude, the nicest people, and then
Right, and very diverse is the other thing I'll say, is that Israel is an incredibly diverse place. People think, the Israelis are white or something. It's like, well, not exactly. Like, it's a mix of people. There's dark-skinned Jews, light-skinned Jews. There's
it's in Bethlehem.
there's
and fucking yeah,
Arabs.
man.
There's all different races, religions, genders. Everything can all live there. There's only one Pride festival in the Middle East. I'll say that. It's in Tel Aviv.
I
That's all I'm saying.
saw was fucking probably the most powerful thing I saw over there was the Wailing Wall, man.
Oh yeah,
I'd
Western
never
Wall, the
heard
Kotel,
of-
we call
I'd
it.
never heard of it. And it was fucking powerful, man.
Did you leave a note?
So I didn't. I did go up to the wall, and you know what I mean. But I was just enamored at.
Did you touch it?
No. But like you know how you go up to it and then
Yeah.
you walk backwards first because it's disrespectful to just like
That's true.
turn right. And everyone there from fucking kids to grown ups or whatever, and everybody takes it insanely serious. Like, and I'm seeing some 14-year-olds now. As soon as they pass the wall, as soon as they get like into the middle,
Yeah.
they're grab ass and they're fucking around or whatever. But when they're close to the wall,
Yeah, it has a power.
it's like, yo, like, do not fuck around.
It's a
Nobody has to
retaining
tell them.
wall for
Yeah,
the
it's like,
temple for the Temple Mount. Like it's not even part of our temple. And we're not allowed to have access. When I say we, of course, I mean the Jews. Whatever. We don't even have access to the Temple Mount. We're not allowed to pray up there at the Al-Aqsa Mosque.
Mm.
We're not allowed there where our temple was built. We're not allowed to pray. If we go up there, if you try to hide a prayer book, you'll be kicked out. You'll be arrested. It's completely against the rules. No tefillin, no prayer book, no yarmulke. You have to go. If you go, you have to basically pretend not to be Jewish.
God damn.
Anyway, it's a whole deal. But I'm glad that you had a good experience in Israel, man. That's really
Well, let me
cool. I
ask
want-
you this
yeah,
too,
go
real
ahead.
quick, before we move
Yeah,
on from
yeah,
that
yeah.
subject.
Yep. Got a
So
million more battle rap stories.
you're in
Question.
Pittsburgh.
Yep.
The Tree of Life
Oh, yeah.
situation.
Yeah, big.
That is, correct me if I'm wrong, like that's like the biggest.
Oh,
What was
biggest
the word?
anti-Semitic hate crime
Boom.
in the history of America.
Right in the city, in the small city that you.
Up the street when my parents were living here,
Fucking
and I didn't know if my dad was there or not. Because
Dude, I was in London for a battle. I sit in London.
Yeah.
Okay, I sit in this pub. The BBC comes on. And it's like Pittsburgh. I'm like Pittsburgh. I'm like, fucking my city is on the fucking is Maine.
Crazy,
on
right?
And so yeah, man. Me and my son drove past it coincidentally the other day, and I was like, fuck, man, this is.
Yeah. What's interesting, I mean, there's so many things to unpack there, but like, it wasn't exactly anti-Semitism. Like people say, anti-Semitic hate crime, because it was against Jews. Like he killed Jews, he murdered Jews, he murdered my mom's friends. Like he murdered a 98-year-old
Yeah, I was
woman,
gonna say, yeah,
Rose, who like, and then a man with a mentally handicapped man, and like all like just awful, heinous shit. But what he was doing was he was propagating right-wing propaganda. He was against immigration, and he knew that this one Jewish congregation, of which there were multiple congregations that prayed at Tree of Life. Tree of Life was just one of the congregations in that building, and people of 3 different congregations all were murdered that day, which is crazy, right? Like there was multiple different congregations in the building. But what he was against was he knew that the Jews were pro-immigration, that they were trying to allow immigrants into the country. So the guy was like a right-wing extremist,
Jeez.
which is crazy to think about. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of dialogue about that, I guess, but that's what that was.
Yeah.
Anyway, people don't talk about the fact that Jews are targeted for hate crimes a lot, and it's a big deal, and it's much worse in Europe. I mean, I have a cousin who left Paris because it was too hot. Like he went to Israel, and now he's ducking for like from rocket attacks and shit. Like every time they turn on the rocket warning in Tel Aviv and everything. But anyway, yes, I was very shaken up by that. I didn't leave here at the time. I was in South Florida, I think, in Miami. I think, what was it, 2018? Or I think we had a 5-year anniversary, right?
Was it 5?
Just had 5 this year. So I think I was just finishing medical school, about to move to Charleston, which is crazy too, because like Charleston's the other insane hate crime in America City. At the AME church. So like I'm.
Oh yeah.
And the pastor there came to Pittsburgh and spoke. His name's Pastor Eric. My mom met him and thanked him for coming to Pittsburgh because they had just been through this unbelievable experience of just being devastated, and those people forgave him. They went into the courtroom. I don't know if you know that story. That shit was crazy. The people, like the family members of the victims in the AME church, went and told him, "I forgive you," before he was put to death. I don't know if he's dead yet, but he got the death penalty anyway, which he deserved.
Yeah.
What goals do you have left for Battle Rap? What haven't you achieved?
So, I think as far as, one of the biggest ones I had left for myself a couple years back was to have a tangible championship, right? So I was able to accomplish that with the King of the Dot title. So I really kind of think that as far as Battle Rap itself, I've done everything. Right? Like I've been on TV, I've been on big stages. So my goal now, though, is to get in front of whatever big audiences I can to spread the messages I can. And that's, one is regarding my father and medical malpractice. Another is whatever gets my name bigger helps get my son's profile bigger, and
shout out to Trev.
Yeah, and
Trev Jr. in the damn building. Let's go.
Yeah.
We got impressions coming soon.
And getting a foot in the door for him, right? And the third, like, you know what I mean? The thing.
I don't know if he needs your help, man. His shit is amazing.
I appreciate it, man.
He's going to be killing it regardless of what we do here.
Full circle, if he doesn't have to go on a library computer and you know what I mean, and go through that step, or hear some of the early terrible songs I did, you know what I mean? If I can just cut a couple steps in his journey, man. And that's so cool. That's honestly the goal now, man. Like, is to get in front of the biggest stages, to get in front of the biggest platforms, and to really and to get some moving and shaking happening in the direction with my father, and with all that entails. And if that means I end up headlining Summer Madness or getting that's all great, But as far as I'm probably one of the few battle rappers that I've touched damn near every continent, not every, but like, you know what I mean? I've battled everywhere imaginable on every stage. And like I said, I've been on TV, I've been in the paper, and so I don't know, other than making bigger and bigger paydays, you know what I mean? Which who's going to say no to that? Yep. I can't think of anything that jumps out that's like, oh, that's something you haven't done yet.
Right.
Obviously, headlining a Summer Madness, obviously I haven't done that. That could be something to aim for, But once I really knocked off the tangible, because I was in Scribble, didn't win it, and I'd get in a tournament and do real well and not win it, and I'd all these options. So once I got my opportunity and I was able to win, and they are never able to take that away from me. Like,
2-time King of the Dot champion. You got the chains.
4.
What?
4, man. I won 2 belts and 2 chains.
Oh, the belts. Okay. After the belts, I just think about the chains.
So I won it and then defended it 3 times, and then I was like, there wasn't a contender, and I didn't feel like sitting around for one to get created.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think it's probably best that, you guys go a new direction with whatever you want to do with the new the title and whatever. Because I'm like, or else you're just gonna be forced to manufacture a challenge for me at the next. And I don't, as hard as I work to get there, I don't want to see somebody just thrown in a championship match. So. And I started to, this is going to kind of come across a little douchey, but as I was the champ for so long, I started to feel like I was the Patriots or the Lake. Like I started to feel like people were just like, yeah, we'd like to see somebody else in. But like I kept winning.
Yep.
And I was like, all right, like, I see the writing on the wall.
That was what Peter said. That's what he called himself during your battle, during the original Grind Time battle. I am the Lakers.
Yeah.
I am the Patriots.
He's amazing, man. Still to this day,
So-
dude, just saying shit that's insane.
The critique from, of course, when you say the motivation now is to get the message across, right?
Mhm.
About, medical malpractice, et cetera. The critique from Random in the battle
Mm.
in Alaska was that it actually takes away from your message. That
Mm.
when you are always talking about this thing, it brings people down. It's a buzzkill.
I thought that
And
was
then
hilarious. That
Maybe
angle.
people aren't as interested in booking you, or maybe they don't want to hear the album or something.
I think Random is a really, really good writer. I wasn't crazy about his ender, and I know he received a lot of backlash for it, and he hit me up a couple weeks later to apologize. He was like, "Bro, I shouldn't, whatever." But it was kind of one of them things. Like I said, I have done some dumb shit before, and it was weird because we were like kicking it with his dad the whole couple days. But I actually thought that was a hilarious approach because the way he did it with dry deadpan humor, like, I'm kind of getting bummed out. Like, I thought that was really fucking funny. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't it only hit tasteless when at the end of it, and I wasn't wildly offended by it, but I was just like, do better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the rest of his angle about it, I thought was actually really, really, really unique and funny. And I think he's a really, really good writer.
But you disagree?
No, I
don't
do.
think it's counterproductive?
Nah, I don't, because I think especially in America, we need reminded constantly, or shit just goes away. We're so desensitized to everything, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's a fucking new video or some new sensation coming out every month or something. So that's why every big battle I'm in, I wear a Charlie shirt, a Charlie hoodie or whatever, because if not, something new will happen. And then, I mean, listen, I don't know. He publicly spoke on it, or else I wouldn't. But DNA just recently lost his mother, and believes firmly that the doctors and hospitals did not give her adequate care.
Yeah.
And so the minute he comes out and says that, I get tagged 20 times in the status, which, and of course, DNA's such a good dude. Reach out to him like, bro, anything you need, take your time. Of course, first and foremost, whatever. But I do believe it's making a difference, right? Because had I just said it one time, I think people would have forgot. A million battles happened since then. But no, man, I think, with the petition I got going and trying to see progress, man, like, you know what I mean? Reaching out to the mayors and the people, senators and
It's become your raison d'etre.
It has, man. It has. It's odd how you find a purpose unintentionally, in your mid-30s, and you wished it would have happened a different way, but
I think about Kanye's mom. I mean, there's a lot, right? You could think about Michael. You could think
MF
about
Doom.
Prince. MF
Doom.
was medical?
MF Doom over in Leeds. And that's what I'm saying. So it's not even just the U.S. medical system.
Yeah.
MF Doom over in Leeds, they apologized to his girlfriend or loved one or his wife, either or. But yeah, there's a big thing about that, and it's again, man, like I had the opportunity recently to speak to my son's class. My son has a politics class, and
cool.
his teacher wanted me to come in. And I'm like, look, man, if I broke my leg right now, I'm going to a doctor. I don't want people to think like I'm, you know what I mean? I'm going to put some dirt
if you
on
need
my-
antibiotics,
Right.
you're going to get them.
Listen, I'm not saying don't trust your doctor. No.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I'm big on accountability and I'm big on responsibility. And I just, the idea that there's this for everybody else, we're subject to whatever, and they have like a damn 40-foot wall in front of them you got to climb over to even.
There's a lot of problems with American medicine, with medicine in general. Western medicine, I guess, is the big overarching umbrella term. But one of the big ones is, I think, arrogance. I think that when you're trained to be a doctor, that there's this kind of pedagogy and hierarchy where you spend all of this time as a grunt, where you're put through things that nobody should ever be put through. Working 28 hours at a time and then sleeping for 4 hours and then coming back and doing it again day after day after day, or seeing death every day and being coached that it's it's not something to mourn. It's something that to get past and keep moving. Feeling responsible for patient deaths, right, and not having an opportunity to unpack and debrief, and I would say all of those things are things that I've gone through, and that when you get to the top of the heap, there is all of this, I think, impetus to do it to the next class, to shit on the next group,
Right.
like you're in a fraternity,
Right.
And also there's this feeling of, well, I made it through all that. I must know everything. I'm like a god. I'm like, I have the answers. I'm King Tut, whatever it is. And I think it's the humility piece that's really lacking in medicine in general. And that we really, I mean, it truly is the art of medicine, the practice of medicine. Right. We, what is it? Like, man plans and God laughs or something like that.
Oh, okay. Right.
Because ultimately we're fighting a losing battle. Like everybody's headed the same place. Nobody's making it out of this thing.
For sure.
And we're fighting against, chronic disease, like, all of the different things that people do to their bodies over their lifetime. And you're trying to, in one visit, try to fix all of these things that whatever. But I think that the humility piece is really where we could be better is by admitting to people, hey, we don't have all the answers. We're going to do our best, but this, ultimately this might not go the way we plan.
And I think you bring up a lot of good points. And it's even more so though too when you're just a common civilian trying to speak to a doctor, right? And that doctor's got to be thinking, my man, I understand you're going through it, but you don't have a fucking clue. And in fairness, the knowledge that they hold far outweighs our own and such. I just think, I wonder, a lot of things with specificity to my father's case, you know what I mean? And I do believe that there is this, there's a system in like how they prepared me for something I should not have been getting prepared for, right?
Yeah.
So I'd be passed from a doctor to a doctor. I would rarely ever see the same doctors. And
this is once he was in the ICU, and like they were kind of, and I'm commenting on this because I know the story, because I follow your career. Like I'm a big fan, and so I feel like I know the story as much as you've kind of made public. But basically, like, he was in the ICU, and there was, days and days where things were kind of going downhill, but in different directions. And the communication piece, it feels was lacking.
And there would just be things said to me, and then it's like, and I've been writing a book about it. I'm like 120 pages deep on it. And again, I never want people to think that I'm out here fucking, but I just think as a school teacher, it's very easy. If your son fell in my class and you felt I was negligent, we go right to, for me to have to go through a medical examiner, pay them whether they say I'm right or wrong. And I just feel like families are very ill-equipped to understand anything about it. And I think that's a piece too. So it's not just about extending the statute.
Yeah. The statute of limitations for medical malpractice, it's 2 years in Pennsylvania, but you'd like to see it at 5, which is equivalent with petty crime and theft.
Maybe not even 5. Listen, if in my dad's honor, if it went to 2.5, right? That's 6 more months that families just get to fucking process and take. And so one of the things people say is, right, like, well, it's age of discovery. It's since time of discovery. Okay, well, my response to that is, have you ever been a regular person trying to look at medical records? You might as well read the fucking tombs in Egypt. You know what I mean? Good luck.
I was trying to read paper records yesterday. I was in the hospital, and I was reading notes that a doctor had written, and I couldn't read a word.
Oh, well, no, I'm not even just referring to the.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just one layer of complexity. Not only is medicine a foreign language. I mean, we talk about it in medical school that part of going through medical school, the 4 years of medical school, is you essentially learn a new language. It's Latin and Greek. But you truly are learning a new language, and
it's
so,
insane, man. And even in the same, so on the other token too, I have, and this is going on right as we speak. I have my sister who passed away in 2014.
Yep.
And obviously, you see nowadays they have the major pharma things and all
Sackler
this.
for $6 billion,
Right.
But that means if we sign that, and when I say we, I mean the families of people who've died because of big pharma opiate pill pushers, basically. And there's a bunch of really cool documentaries out right now. I think Painkiller is one of them.
Was really good.
But basically, if we sign that, if we accept that deal, and there's people who are right now saying we shouldn't accept it, they're no longer culpable. There's no more lawsuits. And so the Sackler family gets off. Basically, they've made a lot more than $6 billion.
So the claim that I have is with Purdue. Purdue Pharma.
Purdue Pharma.
And,
yeah. They made OxyContin.
Yeah.
Yep.
And again, now look, I have my sister's toxicology report, and I have her, and again, that's hard to read as well, but I have that, and I have all this shit. It could turn out, they could say, hey, actually, Purdue, maybe she was prescribed opioids years before, but your sister overdosed. And I would be willing to be like, all right, but my point is, she deserves someone to at least look into it a little bit for, right? Yeah. So now I can't fucking find out what her medical insurance was at the time. Bro, I go online to look up HIPAA. Like, all right, is there there's no fucking number. I went to Penny. Who did I call? I called the market.
Yeah.
And they said Pennsylvania is not part of their thing. So I call, what is it called? Penny or whatever. They're like, yo, we weren't even around in 2014. So, cause it's the last thing I need. I have everything filled out in my claim for Purdue. Cause there's I'm part of a lot of people. And I can't fucking I can go online and look up who the fuck, invented the whatever, I can get a phone number for anywhere, but I can't.
Does HIPAA apply to the dead?
So I'm the next of kin because my father's gone. She wasn't married. My mom's gone. My brother signed it over to me.
Yeah.
So I'm the next of kin, and all I need is a fucking number and a way to prove I'll go on with whatever ID. And nobody can give me shit, bro. It's like
you have to believe that this is by design, that there's a concerted effort on the part of big medicine, people with big time salaries, way beyond where I'm at, layers and layers above in this layer of insurance and big hospitals, right? Where, the biggest employer in the state of Pennsylvania is a hospital. I was thinking about this recently because somebody came on the podcast and said something dope. They were like, I don't even know if it was on the podcast, but they were like, UPMC. It was Ari. Ari. It's the rapper here, AARI.
Oh, he's the man. Yeah.
I was sitting with him. I was like at Goldmark or something and talking to him, and he's like, UPMC is like they go in and they're like the U.S. Steel. They're like the steel mill now.
Yeah.
So people used to work at the mill, and now they work in medicine. And my question was like, what are they making?
Dude, so I don't have the
we used to
exact
build
numbers.
things in America. What are we building?
I don't have the exact numbers, but I know UPMC consistently is in the top 5 most profitable hospitals in the country, and we're like the 48th biggest city. They're like consistently top 5. During COVID, they made like a $20 billion fucking surplus. Like, it's insane, dude. UPMC is insane. Again, that's a rabbit hole that we can go down.
Yeah, I should probably stay away.
But I will say, man, and I shit you not, this happened to me.
Yeah.
My sister was on Suboxone before she passed.
Right.
So I called the clinic in her area. And they said, "Oh yeah, we had an Amber Weller on our records." And I said, "Hey, well, I'm her brother. I just have a couple questions. I just need to get this insurance." Said, "Okay, yeah. Hold on one second." And then all of a sudden, I'm on hold, and then another person comes on in like 2 minutes. We're like, "Yeah, how can I help you?" I was like, "Yeah, they're like, yeah, we don't have anything on that." I was like, well, somebody just said, "Yeah, I'm sorry, sir. I don't know what you're talking about." I'm like, what kind of fucking movie? Like, am I being punked? Is this a fucking somebody
Black Mirror episode, Eye in the Sky?
But this is what I literally, if you look online under my claim, every box is checked except, and when I talked yesterday, they said, yeah, we as the legal team, we can't go get that information for you because HIPAA. And I'm like, well, HIPAA ain't doing shit for me. So it's fucking nuts, man. Not to go too far, but yeah, but that's another thing we're looking at, man.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that one because I feel like the opioid crisis is worth talking about more. I think, 100,000 people in America dying every year for the last 2 years is insane. It's not a sustainable situation. It's being brushed under the rug because these are people that I think, their names don't go on the news. They're everyday people like you and me, just like that got a prescription from a doctor for back pain,
right?
And then they got clipped, right? I mean, it was like there was this whole thing where we were being coached about the fifth vital sign is pain. So we should be asking every patient that comes in whether or not they have any complaints about pain. What's your pain level?
Oh, the 1 to 10 thing, right?
We even had a smiley face where we would have you point. If you couldn't even tell us a number, you could just point at where your pain is. And that whole purpose, I might be wrong, but my impression is the whole purpose of that was to get people onto opiates.
Yeah.
And then fast forward 5 years, we busted up all the pill mills in South Florida. We've prosecuted all the kind of bad actors, well, some of them. And now we're not allowed to prescribe opiates. It's a bad word. It's like the boogeyman.
Right.
And now we're being told to give everybody gabapentin instead and tramadol, which is like a weak opiate, wink, wink. And now it's like no wonder these people that we were prescribing the drugs to for years are now addicted. Now we're going to cut them off. Now they're on what? Suboxone and the streets. And the streets are all fentanyl.
And dude, again, my sister passed in 2014. So that was right before the big fentanyl wave hit here. But she lines up perfectly with the timeline. If you look at it, she had back issues probably early 2000s. That's when fucking major pharma and all that shit started with the Oxycontins and whatever. And the other thing, now to be fair, my sister is an addictive personality. Whatever she touches, she's going to indulge in it. You know what I mean? So my thing is, at the end of the fucking day, it could be that she wrote her own fucking check. And if that's heartbreaking, it is what it is. I can, but I just think it deserves some eyes to look on it and a fair shake to say, okay, let me see and let me look at her medical record and boom. And the fact that I can't even get access to her is fucking nuts, man. It's like it's crazy, man. So we'll see going forward. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna continue to push on that front too. Man.
Good. Yeah. We definitely have to think about more about where the fentanyl is coming from. People don't care, and so we got to think about it. Where is the fentanyl coming from? It's China and the southern border. Anyway, and we have a big part to play. I think, physicians obviously are like we're the gatekeepers of this type of medicine. All right. Timekeeping in battle rap. This is hilarious. When I see Organic looking at his cell phone, he's not on a timing app. He's scrolling Twitter.
Dude, and it becomes frustrating at times, right? When you, because on these contracts, they fucking write up these contracts, and I swear these things are on Microsoft fucking Word, but they're like with a 3 minute, like 30 seconds grace, right? And like I said, when we started Grind Time, like they would fucking drop the hammer on you.
Yeah.
And nowadays, people just rap. So then, for myself, I'm like, all right, well, I'm not going to prepare a 2-minute round if I know this dude's going to rap 4 minutes. I'm going to rap a little bit longer, so I'm not going to let you. But I'll tell you who's amazing with it is Big K. Like, Big K will write exactly what he's contracted to write. And if a motherfucker's trying to, like, take liberties, he'll say shit, like, during the battle. Like, you'll see him. He'll be like, yo, man, this is 2 minutes, man. Come on, man. And he's fucking right. You know what I mean? He's 100% right. Yeah. I want to tell you, I'm going to share probably the funniest timekeeper story that I fucking have for you. And this is funny because it takes a little bit of full circle, but I'm hosting a battle in Boston, in Haverhill, Massachusetts. Now, there is a dude who's battling on the card, and you would know when I say it, his religion forbade him from driving on, which one is that?
Shabbat.
Okay.
On the Sabbath, on Friday night.
So he fucking walks from the Boston area to Haverhill, which was like 40 fucking miles. Okay.
Wow.
Everyone's like, bro, like, we can come get you. And he's getting pissed. Like, no, bro, like, stop asking me this. Or we're like, all right. So he comes.
He's Shomer Shabbos. I'm Shomer fucking Shabbos, man. I don't roll on Shabbos.
So check this out, man. So not only this, it's fucking 85 degrees. It's a hot ass summer. Fucking. This dude has a battle and he thinks he's about to, like, each round he has layers of clothes. He put, like, he has a Raptors jersey the one round. Anyway, the fucking two battlers had agreed to like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Now I have prior knowledge this dude walked for fucking ever. So I have the phone. Now when I time keep, man, I typically, I'll slowly put my hand up like,
yeah.
And I'll even show you. Like,
and you
hey,
pause
hey,
for
bro,
the crowd reaction.
Right. Of course.
Yeah, if it's a long one.
But I'm like, it's this, boom, and then I'll drop the hammer. I'll give you like the 25 seconds, whatever, but So he's fucking going on, and the shit is just not very good. And
so if it's good, you let him roll.
Well, dude, he walked fucking 40 miles, right? So we're in this fucking.
I thought it was 80.
Dude, I don't know what it was, bro, but it was fucking insane, okay? And I'm next to my man chilling. We're there, and first of all, he's battling outside in fucking like a garage, like outside of the garage. So it's like, this wasn't even the opportunity for you to battle 80. Like you did, no offense, but like you should have waited for a bigger opportunity if you're gonna do this much. But anyway, he's fucking rapping. And usually what happens when you put your arm up and somebody's still trying to rap, they're like, I got 4 more bars.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, get to him, So fucking 3 minutes, 4 minutes. I'm like, all right, man. He starts on this scheme, this word association scheme with the 13 colonies.
Okay.
And it was
no good?
Fucking terrible. So it's very reachy, and he's like, if the Pennsylvania, like the shit was just. So I put up my hand. I'm like, all right, man, this is fucking 4.5 minutes, and I'm just about to drop the hammer, and I'm like, all right, man. He's like, and I'm about to, and he goes, no, bro, just 4 more colonies, 4 more colonies, 4 more. I go, 4 more colonies is fucking crazy. And then I fucking drop the hammer like time, fuck. And in his second round, he goes to set his glasses down and someone stepped on them. So he's got to walk to wherever the fuck. Dude, it was nicest fucking guy. And I don't mean to be like shitting on him here, but it was one of the most amazing things.
That's really funny.
Dude, it was fucking insane, man.
That's hilarious. What is the worst thing about battle rap and why is it halitosis?
Dude, I'm not going to lie to you. You know what's a bigger problem than halitosis? Is spit. Oh, when a motherfucker's like accidentally like spits on you, like
you almost want to have glasses,
like,
right? Because it gets in your eye and your mouth.
Yeah, well, I mean,
during COVID, and that brings up the COVID thing, right? Did that have to do with you defending your title?
Yeah,
the vaccination.
So the COVID thing was no. Well, they couldn't get into the States, man. So a lot of my King of the Dot reign, I'm like the dead ball era home run fucking king at times. You know what I mean? Like.
Which means you couldn't get to Canada to defend
it. Could, so I had to defend in the States, and then we had to do it in like small rooms, and they put they really like hampered because Canada took that shit a lot more strict, I guess, than we did in the States. Like they were fucking,
Why should Canada be the biggest thing in battle rap, and why should it be the Philippines? How did these little scenes develop? Like, why is
Russia's
Philly
another
important?
one?
Why is Russia? Yeah. What is it about the culture of different areas, different cities in the U.S. that lends to having a successful battle rap scene?
To quickly, the worst thing I think right now about battle rap, probably crowds are pretty fucking rough. Like a lot of them have become so programmed to just respond on bar 4, 8, 12 that they don't even know what the fuck they're responding to. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of them. I'm not, and so like there'll be times when a bar is spat and you're just like, that was fucking terrible. And like the roof blew off and I'm just like, it was fucking awful. But as far as what creates,
I'm thinking about like some John battles and like Hitman Holla battles. Maybe it was like where it's just like every 4 bars, like everybody just
and right, and it's like, and dude, I've literally been in events where a terrible bar was spat,
Yeah.
and I like turned next to me and someone just like lost their shit, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go grab a beer. Like, the fucking,
Yeah.
I don't think you even
it's weird,
heard.
right?
I don't think you
Yeah.
heard what he fucking said because it was incorrect what he just said. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, man. As far as the Philippines, dude, again, I'd love to do a battle there just for the fucking pad the stats a little bit, the views or whatever, right? Like Russia, same. Like,
Crazy.
dude, and
They're
coming
doing
back,
like 25, 30 mil each battle and flip top, right?
Yeah. Crazy, man.
Yep.
And it's so but I know, man, like Disaster, coming back to him, I know he's done like some battles and obviously a little bit ago, like in Lebanon and shit, that, you know, where Disaster can battle in like 4 different fucking languages, which is
Crazy.
insane, dude. Fucking nuts.
Yeah, he was my favorite for a long time.
So good.
I don't know if he still is. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it kind of got away from me for a little bit. You
Mhm.
know, I feel like, I don't know why, but I just felt like during COVID and a little before, things just lost momentum. Like I was paying for every pay-per-view, every KOTD pay-per-view I would pay, whatever it was, 25, 50, 90, I don't remember, $90.
Right.
But then something happened where like, I don't think the characters were as exciting. Maybe
Agreed.
like
Agreed.
I was like all about the, you know, the Iron Salt. Was it Iron Solomon?
Iron Solomon's great.
Soul Khan,
Yeah.
Big K,
Big K's
you
incredible. He's on a hell of a tear this year.
then Disaster and maybe like Awkwards and like the Kid Twist era
I
and like
love Kid Twist.
all of those characters to me. I guess I'm just a little old, maybe.
No, I agree with you, and that's like one of, I guess that would be the second biggest problem in battle rap, is that there's so many fucking people that sound like so many fucking people. They like found, so like one of the formulas, like New Jersey Twerk came out and is just a once in a generation battle rap talent. Like, you know, he's fucking unbelievable. And then so many people copy his blueprint, copy his, and it's this, they sound like the imitation style. And the same as like a Rum Nitty. Now you got a lot of guys that sound like Rum Nitty, or they sound like certain people. And it definitely, it muddies the water, and it just you know what I mean? But you know, anytime a Kid Twist battle comes back, which he doesn't I think he's pretty much done, but he battled for the Pat Stay Memorial event, and he's just fucking incredible. He's writing like, I know he has a couple Netflix, like he has like an animated anime shit. He's super talented, super good dude.
Who is this?
Kid Twist.
Oh, cool.
Because
He's
he wrote the
still
movie
involved.
Bodied. You know that, right?
Yeah.
So
We have to talk about Bodied and 8 Mile. So is there another battle rap movie that
there is, dude.
it's
There's
worth talking about?
And it's, again, so there's a UK one that Shoddy Horror was in. So a couple other, I feel like, UK battle rappers made it onto it. And I forget what the fuck it was called. Shit, I can't remember. But very, you know, very much cut from the same cloth, white protagonist battle rapper. After the third one, we were kind of like, all right, man, we got to, you have to stop putting white people in this role. Yeah, like this is getting a little bit much. So Bodied was cool, man. I took my son to see Bodied. We love Bodied. It was great to see not only that, but them use so many battle rappers in the movie.
Yeah.
That was an awesome thing, right? So, and then I know that Method Man had that show, the fuck was that show on TBS or whatever? It was a battle rap show where they'd have like Topanga battle fucking somebody else. He'd have battle rappers ghostwrite for them.
Oh,
It
fun.
was super dope, man.
That's fun.
Like, yeah, because battle rap, like, nobody owns, like, anytime somebody wants, like, a big corporate, they could just steal our shit and go fucking do whatever and tell us to fuck ourselves, you know? But so it's always good when somebody, like, acknowledges and shows love, and, you know, includes
What do
us.
you mean by that?
So, like, dude, all of our lines, our lyrics, our approaches. Let's say somebody in Hollywood wanted to take a battle rap movie tomorrow and make a fake kind of me character. Like, they could do it. What the fuck could I say about it? All this shit I put out is free. You know what I mean? And they wouldn't have to credit me. Kind of like you remember, like, apparently this is gonna be crazy. This is my second Bayon Bleeder reference, but you know how Rocky the movie apparently was inspired by the boxer that Ali beat up, Bayon Bleeder.
Oh, wow.
He was a huge inspiration. Well, Rocky never credited him. Never.
I thought there was an Italian stallion.
No, I'm pretty sure that, and you could look this up.
I'm sure you're right.
Yeah, Chuck Webner was his name.
Yeah.
And he was a guy like Ali eventually might have knocked out in like the 11th round, but he knocked Ali down early. And Ali says he tripped. And it looked like Ali might have tripped. But in the fight, Ali's clearly fucking with this dude. This dude looked like they pulled him off a bar stool, and then dude like knocks Ali down. And Ali just beats the shit out of him for like 10.5 rounds. This dude just will not fucking quit. He's profusely bleeding.
He had a strong chin, we would say.
And it just ground meat his face, dude. And so that was one of the inspirations for Rocky.
Wow.
And Rocky didn't have to pay dude shit. And so,
I see what you're saying. So
they could take our ideas, any of our shit.
They can take all your bars from a battle. So
fucking right.
Whenever you release the battle, whenever you perform it, somebody could be writing it down like an old Shakespeare play, right? I mean, that's the only reason we know what the Shakespeare plays were, is that people were copying them down during the actual performances. Somebody could be recording with an iPhone on, audio mic, whatever, video, who knows? These things happen. And then eventually it gets released, and at the moment you say it, it's not yours anymore.
Exactly. Which I do music.
But you'll use some of the bars from battles in your music, which is intelligent. To me, you're spending all this time writing. Why not?
And again, with my music, I have my ass cap. You know what I mean? Like but our shit, we rap, dude, we get flagged for using our own shit in clips a lot of times. They're like, no, Quarter Lab says no. I'm like, this is fucking me. Like, Quarter Lab's like, go fuck yourself.
What's Quarter Lab?
Quarter Lab is like a media, I don't know if they...
A conglomerate.
Right, that owns a lot of the footage. And that,
wow.
Yeah, dude. So like, and there's, and it's become a popular... you referenced earlier a lot of the splits and fractions and leagues and shit. Well, a lot of people are not happy with what they feel that they deserved, and some, there's been some lawsuits and some things that have gone out. People felt underpaid. So there's a lot.
Easy the block captain.
Easy was a big one, right? That I guess he had an opportunity to battle on a league, and apparently URL went to block it. Like, nah, we don't want that happening. And he was like, well, fuck that. This is a great opportunity for me. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And they were like, you're under contract. And so
there are contracts.
There are.
Where KOTD, URL, Grind Time, whoever, a business that hosts battling events will have a stable of rappers signed where they'll say, I'm giving you $1 million a year. You're not going to battle outside of us. You're only going to work for us.
Right.
You're under contract.
Right.
Non-compete, whatever. But you also have to do a certain number of battles. You get extra if you hit a certain milestone. How does the business of battle rap work?
It's a fucking slippery slope, man. Like, it really, really is. So, like, it depends on what's in your contract, man. Like, if you sign with URL, apparently, and they say you can't battle in these spaces, I guess that's part of it. Usually, contractually, you're going to sign battles. You're just going to sign a one battle thing, right? So I'm battling battler X. This is what we're both making. This is the penalty if now they have like choke clauses in battles. It's a lot of contracts. Like, hey, man, if you go up there and you fuck up and you don't get enough out, we're going to deduct some of your purse. But dude, leagues violate them all the time. People violate them all the time. And the big thing seems to be, okay, what are you going to do now? And nothing happens.
Yeah.
So the cycle continues, right? So,
yeah. It reminds me of the medical malpractice thing a little. The power is up here. There's no power down here. Therefore, abuse occurs. And
it's like, what are you going to do? You're going to lawyer up now? Good luck with that. That's going to cost you fucking 10 times the headache it would to fix this whatever contract. So again, I don't know. I've never seen Eazy's contract. I don't know what you are. I know that, it makes for good drama, I guess, in the battle rap community, which is also not one of my favorite things going on. But and shout out to Eazy, man. He has a good thing going in Philly. He seems to really given the Philadelphia battle rap scene a shot in the arm too. So that's cool.
Yeah. Do you feel like Pittsburgh is maybe a good place to be from in terms of battle rap because you were able to get to Cincinnati, you're able to get to Philly, New York, Toronto? You're kind of like in the middle of things?
No. I think being from Pittsburgh has allowed people to consistently dismiss me and underrate me because anyone from Pittsburgh knows like that Philly does not give two squirts of piss about Pittsburgh. Like they're like, so and you can see it. These lists come
I
out.
saw somebody
Pennsylvania,
made
and they
top
just
5 battle rappers of
and
Pennsylvania and didn't put you on.
so
there?
I'm like, bro, now
You're number 1, 2, and 3.
I'm
no,
like,
Roan, right?
fuck,
Roan is the other one.
Raw, Rony, baby, the Prince.
It's amazing.
But so I think no. I think being from Pittsburgh has definitely hindered my placement and my opportunities. Location wise, it's good, and it's cool to not be from somewhere that's like LA or like where there's a million people or battle rappers or whatever. But I think it's definitely been a hindrance. I think it's difficult for those battlers from those smaller towns that don't have a push with them.
Yeah, so maybe, yeah, I feel that from the battle rap side of things. From the hip hop side of things, I feel like there is an amazing musical tradition in Pittsburgh that we have this, like you were talking about history with the Shadow Lounge,
Right.
Rhyme Cal, that we have amazing DJs like Selecta and Bonix, rappers who've made it big like Mac
Right.
and Wiz now. But then there were a few beat makers before them.
Right.
I mean, we've had, I think, Melman got picked up by Dre.
Right.
There's a cool history here of MCing and people that you could, I guess, connect with, and now Big Germ with
Right.
ID Labs and things, right?
Yeah. So Pittsburgh, we definitely had that 09 to 2011, 2012 window of hip hop where like Pittsburgh was like the kind of one of the hotter cities for hip hop. And then obviously the doors seemed to close, Shadow closed, and then Jimmy Wapo was the next one,
Amazing.
man.
Yeah, I need to get Spills on here. I really, really want to get that interview locked because I found out about Wapo maybe 6 months ago.
Yeah,
and
he was on the doorstep, man. He was right there, man. And
Elm Street. I mean,
dude,
it's an anthem.
He passed right around the time Mac did, dude. Like,
oh, interesting.
I want to say they died. Shit, it had to be weeks apart.
Wow.
So you had somebody that's super solidified pass at the same time. And I do think that Pittsburgh has some up and coming people, and we'll see. I think the doors will, I just think there's a lot of attraction to the city in general, right?
Yeah.
Steelers and the blue collar idea and shit like that. Like, so I think they'll have another window for sure.
What will heal, how can we fix the problems in battle rap in regards to the fracturing? When I'm going on looking for a video now, the only way to find a video is with these aggregation websites like Battleverse or searching for the actual rapper's name.
Right.
Because people are battling on 20, 30 different leagues. I mean, how many leagues did you battle on last year?
Oh,
and
man.
and it's not good for us, for the consumer,
Right.
when it used to be I can just KOTD and then that's all I do. URL KOTD. It's just 2.
Right.
And whatever they put out is hot and I want to see it. So is it that we need a big injection of money? Does Drake or Eminem need to say, look, I'm going to start my own real league where I have signed everyone. Like everybody that's signed is dope and it's everybody gets $1 million and you just battle for me.
I think that the money going around now is better than it's ever been. And I think URL and RBE, the people are getting bigger paychecks and, events are getting big. I do think people take battles on certain platforms because it's a paycheck, and I'm not mad at it. I do it myself. Fucking why not? You know what I mean? Gives you a chance to travel, break the monotony of whatever you got going on, give an opportunity to somebody else. So, yeah, I don't know that somebody necessarily needs to come on with a lot of money. I think the leagues have kind of kumbaya'd a little bit because I know that there was a lot of beef between the leagues and blocking of events and battles. And I really think that Pat passing in that event that they put together was really big. And I know RBE has some differences with URL, but at the end of the day, man, they're both going to continue to put on huge cards, great cards. And, I'm intrigued to see what 2024 will hold. I don't know if it'll be some kind of. It would be great. It would be great in a hypothetical if all of the leagues could put together their top X amount of battlers and battle against each other. But that'll never, because no league wants to be the league that admits that their guy so. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think they'll just keep.
We need like a major leagues, right? Right now we have all of these different. It's like XFL and AFL-CIO. I don't know what I'm saying, but before the NFL, right? Like, weren't there multiple, or before the major leagues, weren't there multiple different leagues? And we need to like get them back.
It's funny you say that,
probably
because
know this better
I
than
think
do.
the URL, and I think each one of them trying to claim, like URL claiming, it's not even URL. It's a lot of times their battlers are like, yo, if you don't battle over here, no one cares about your battle. So
Right.
people got pissed, like, because it's like you're treating our league like and
The minor leagues.
right. So I don't know, man. I'm excited to see in 2024 King of the Dot coming back, because they had some big events last year, which was great. Because, like I said, COVID really put a damper on them, and Organic was able to get, his second company off the ground and get that shit going great again. And RBE continues to throw huge events. URL, they have the app, which is big, but I would love to see battles return to those big stages. They did just have a big stage event that did not go the way that, it was just a restless crowd, just a lot of factors, you know what I mean? Again, though, I'm always somebody that's like, look, man, it's easy to blame the fucking crowd, but when you spend $80, the shit goes 4 hours later, people aren't saying the hottest shit.
Yep.
I can see people being pissed, man, like, you know what I mean, and getting restless. And I always said it's funny, we started the interview about Detroit. I say Detroit crowd, from my experience, they don't boo you. They just start pretending you're not fucking there. So, which I think is 10 times worse. Like, there was some battles when I was battling that happened before me that weren't too hot. Yep. And they would give them like 30 seconds, and all of a sudden they'd be like, so anyway, yeah, man, I'm probably going to go pull up, down there and fucking, and dude's up there rapping whatever he passionately. And I'm like, damn, that's worse than getting booed. At least if you're getting booed, you got a chance to bring them back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you have their attention.
Yeah, if somebody's just like,
that's
anyway,
tough.
bro. Like,
I hate that during concerts. I've noticed that in Pittsburgh a lot. It's like when I go to Stage AE now, people just talk amongst each other.
Dude.
And it's really disrespectful, I think, to the performers. And it also takes away a lot from my enjoyment.
I just had the same. It's so funny. I just went and saw my man Matt Light do his comedy thing. And fucking these the people who think they're gonna yell some heckle funny shit, shut the fuck up, dude. Yeah. Shut up. Like, nobody wants to hear you yell from the balcony. Like, and bro, like, I'd move from one section to some other people. I'm like, God damn, bro. Like, and I'm like, am I this old pompous person, or I just want to hear what the fuck the comedian? This is who I paid to see, not, So
yep, exactly. What keeps you coming back? Why do you keep doing this impossibly challenging, sometimes unrewarding thing with your time and your life?
I love this shit, dude. I love it. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Like, I think I have like 150 something battles, but I still get the butterflies. I still get nervous. I still process. Like, we started talking about the light. The light still gives me like PTSD and shit, right? But the end feeling when you deliver and you're able to, the audience and the crowd and the people online are able to be like, yo, that was great, and that was this and that was that, and and then of course I bring my merch and I bring my music, and the watching the grassroots, no pun intended, my fan base organically grow the blue collar way is very, very, very rewarding. And of course, not every battle can be like that. There are some battles where you're like, I was great. What the fuck? That was nothing. Or, but when it does, those battles that are great battles, and you leave that stage knowing like, oh man, I just put on a show. They put on a show. These people loved it. They're so appreciative. It makes it worth it. And then, you get paid. So that ain't fucking bad either.
I think it really shows, because the one thing that I picked up on going back through the battles and trying to, watch as many of the newer ones as I could, is like, your heart is still in it. You never phone it in, even when the opponent is like somebody nobody's ever heard of, or like you're in a town where nobody like, it's like, even if maybe people aren't there to see you or whatever the circumstance, you always have amazing punchlines, delivery, switching it up with the aggression, the wordplay, angles, like schemes. It's all there. And I guess one question is like, what the fuck aren't people seeing that I can see? I don't get it. Like,
I write dude, you know what, man? The way I write my shit nowadays and the way I perform and the way is more so like I want all my shit to be snippet worthy.
yeah,
You know? So like that's why I can't just rap the same way for fucking 3 rounds. Like I love the punchline. I love to rap about certain things, but like I have to have a risky angle in there, or I have to have some deadpan humor or something, because you never know with someone he's gonna like. Dude, I wasn't even on TikTok until 2 years ago maybe. I went up to Alaska for a battle for a buddy of mine. And I battled this dude in this fucking record store, and I literally fucking record store, right? And I remember like, and sometimes these are my funnest battles, right? Because it's real low pressure.
yeah.
So I write like some of my favorite like funny shit, like just roasting dude, deadpan. So I wrote this little fucking roast bit. I never remember how it went, but anyway, I put it on TikTok. Like, let's see what people. Fucking like 800,000 views. People were like, "This is amazing." Da, da, da. And like, meanwhile, if some snippets I'll put out from the biggest stages possible, it's like that was cool, 900 views, 1,000 views, whatever. So anyway, I did so well in this battle, the dude gave me a fucking Creedence Clearwater Revival vinyl.
There you go.
There he goes, dude. It goes on the man cave downstairs. But
You have a turntable?
I don't, but I have this. I definitely have the down on a corner fucking vinyl, bro, and it's one of my prized battle rap possessions, man, from Alaska. Yeah,
for winning a battle. I mean, it's like I remember.
He's like,
getting
I don't know what
paid
I can give you,
for-
dude. I'm like, you don't gotta give me shit, man. I'm already paid or whatever. He's like, you like vinyl? And I was like, do you got any CCR?
I love the classic rock samples in the music. Is battle rap a good career path for anyone? Would you counsel anyone to go to do this?
No. You have to like this, and this is the problem. I always say this. Rappers, musicians, I guess, but more so rappers, are easily some of the most delusional people on the planet. Battle rappers are times 10 as delusional, because at least to be like just a rapper and everyone's telling you you're dope, you kind of, something needs to pay off. Like someone needs to, something needs to, but as a battle rapper, you could just be like, nah, I'm real nice. People just scared. Everybody's just scared. So like you have enough people in your corner telling you you're this dope, you're this nice. And so, yeah, a lot of battle rappers are very delusional, and as many battle rappers as there are, not a lot of them get paid. Not a lot of them get paid much at all. So, no, I mean, I do not think I would not recommend that to anybody, no.
We've seen all of these big kind of industry rappers try and fail. Other than maybe Cassidy and Joe Budden. Everyone who's tried it has failed.
Joe Budden didn't do very well either. Well, Joe Budden, I actually thought Joe Budden, when I watched it, I thought he was doing all right, and then he set the mic down in the 3rd round or some shit. He like quit.
Yeah, it was weird.
Cassidy does very well, but Cassidy's, So I always say this. I look at the Cannabis example. And not that in Cannabis was a wild situation, but there would be, if Eminem were to battle rap, he would be so hard to beat. And the first reason is because people would just be so excited that he came down to kick it with the common folk. So his first 12 bars could be the fucking ABCs, and people would lose their shit. Because if you watch Cannabis, his first bars that are hilariously mocked nowadays, right? Tom Cruise mom's shoes. People reacted to that. People in the building, the first person, and I will always give him credit, is Arsenal. Arsenal was at the venue. Arsenal was in the building. Arsenal was the first one to tweet, damn, this motherfucker rapping like some ass right now. First person, because everybody, once he gets halfway through his round, I think people were like, is this good?
Yeah.
And then Arsenal was the first one to be like, oh yeah, no, this is whack.
Wow.
Right. So Eminem, the bar would be so high for everyone else to try to, you know what I mean? So he would have so many advantages. And I like to think that Eminem is such an astute fan of battle rap that he would probably have some. I think Eminem would be a really, really good battle rapper, because he's obviously, he can rhyme, he can rap. And I think Cannabis, his downfall was probably more arrogance. And I don't think Cannabis is as equipped to enter the battle rap realm You know what I mean? He was just way, way, way outgunned, and he tried to do things that he thought were popular in battle rap, and they fell flat. Which I think Eminem has more of a respect for it. That he would, I think he'd be fucking. And like I said, he would have the fact that he just graced us with his presence would get him that much more.
Yeah.
Which I give Joe Budden a lot of props for. Joe Budden didn't have that same advantage. Which, yeah, so that would be a hell of a thing to overcome for sure.
What did you think about the movie? Did you feel like, I mean, like when 8 Mile came out, you were already pretty involved in the scene. Like,
Dude,
what did people like you think about it?
So when 8 Mile came out, it was right, like at the time it was in my battle rap infancy. So I really wasn't doing much. But I know when 8 Mile, when I was in high school, dude, I was an Eminem hater, dude. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm gonna tell you what I did.
Wow.
I was fucking an Eminem hater, right?
Wow.
And to the point where I actually latched on to Bubba Sparks as like the white rapper that I really rock with. And I still rock with Bubba to this day, right?
Getting ugly. I saw you called somebody ugly like Bubba Sparks.
Man, right. But I was being corny, right? You know what I mean? Because I'm just like, everyone's all like, all on this dude's dick, like, blah. Right.
You wanted to be different.
Right. And the reality is he's remarkable. You know what I mean? He's an insanely talented artist and obviously.
Greatest of all time, I would say.
He's unreal.
But I'm also from Detroit. And
he's so fucking good.
Kind of a stan.
Yeah. So I did not hold it in high regard at first. When I watch it back, it's a cool movie. Like it serves its purpose.
Yeah, the battling to you feels a little bit corny because it's like very scripted and it's not quite the way it is.
I think the battling was very, very accurate to what the battling was at that time. I think it was pretty accurate. I mean, I don't know how the whole free world chant shit like that, but like it resembled. Scribble Jam looks very similar to that to me.
Yeah, and you almost wish that there were high def cameras and like really good audio recordings of those battles. I mean, some are just
they had them on DVD. I owned the one DVD. There were some Scribble Jam DVDs they would sell at the event, and so there was some of that. I mean, it wasn't high def shot. It was for whatever, but they definitely had some Scribble Jam DVDs back there. But no, I thought the movie was cool. It served its purpose, man. And it's easy for people to go back now and throw stones at it, but it's a 21-year-old movie. You know what I mean?
What is the like correct comparison to battle rap in terms of sports? Because you're like the sport expert. Is it MMA? Is it boxing? Is it like the pitcher versus the batter in baseball? Like,
that's so tough, man. It's tough. The reason why I can't say boxing might be one of the closer ones, but like a lot of people are like, oh, he was punching more that round. The problem is like in boxing, like there are tangible punches. They land and they're counted. Like in battle rap, like, yeah, that was a punch line, but that was whack as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you counting that against me? Like that dude said that whack ass shit? Like, so I guess boxing is probably the closest that you're going to get. You're going to say, okay, this dude won this round 10-8, 10, whatever the fuck. Other than that, yeah, I don't really see a comparison outside of that. You know what I mean? I mean, because MMA has too many, with holds and shit like that. Like, I don't know how you would equate that in the battle rap analogy. But I would say boxing is probably still the best way to go about it. In
MMA, they have these different styles where you have to know how to strike. Maybe that's punches. You have to know, you have to have a ground game. Maybe that's an angle because you have to look up the person beforehand and hit them with it. Maybe you have to have chokes.
But the angle
and
can
that's
suck
like gimmicks
too, right? So like that's the thing. When you try to equate it to a sport, you have to realize like in a sport, tangible things happen. People get choked out. You can't be like, dude, like
Matt Hoffa.
Motherfuckers get choked out, punched out. Like just because somebody says a punchline to me doesn't make it good. And this brings me back to the thing of you don't have to react every 4, 8, and 12 bars. Listen first. If it's fucking great, react. But if it's not, like whatever. And the other thing that kills me is when they act like battlers who've been doing it a while, like, oh, I don't know if they could still do it. It's like, bro, it's not a physical fucking thing. He didn't blow his knee out. You know what I mean? And now he might never be able to rap again. Like
Pete's breath control is one example of that. all respect to the legend,
Mm.
but it is hard to listen to him when he can't get through a full bar on one breath.
So I think, I mean, I don't know, but that's always been
Yeah.
a thesaurus kind
Yep,
of thing,
yep,
right?
yep,
Like,
yep.
I don't think it's anything that happened over time. You know what I'm saying? I think it's always he just delivers heavy, and sometimes he has a bit of an inhale. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that that's anything that came with older age or anything.
You know,
like that.
don't think we're losing lung capacity
Nah, I think
from.
it's good. Now, I will say some rappers sound a little dated. Maybe I guess that's the only thing I can equate is you're like, yo, that punchline is not, but
Who do you think your all-time favorites are? Like if you had to build a Mount Rushmore of battle rap, just overall.
oh, wow, that's a great Pat Stay. Pat Stay's my favorite battle rapper ever. Pat Stay will always be my favorite battle rapper ever.
Moonwalk with steel-toe boots on.
Fucking, I was there for that. I judged that shit. I was like, that was fucking what? Just again, just one of the funniest.
That's crazy, right? Like that's like the working man's MC bar too,
Dude.
right? He's talking about being somebody who works hard,
There
and
wasn't any,
but also has style. It's kind of like an amazing concept, all like locked into one little bar.
yeah, there's nothing he could not do. Shit, huge Big K fan, man. Big K just fucking delivers, man. He's just he has such a ear appeasing delivery. Like he's rapping, you know what I mean? Like not rapidy rap, but like just Big K is really fucking good. I mean, I don't know. Again, in that 4, I was always a big Hollow Da Don fan. Hollow Da Don always has super creative angles, approaches. Oh, I'd have to sit with him, man, because there's so many battlers that like have incredible battles, and then, fuck, man.
Charlie has like all-time the highest view numbers, right? Like something like that.
He's up there. Arsenal's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then there's other battlers that like I'll stop everything and watch a Dunch battle. I don't know if you ever watched Dunch.
Don't know Dunch.
Dunch is
This is
from
cool.
Idaho,
Write it down.
dude, a funny ass dude, right? Or like, there's guys like that are, who I'll stop doing whatever I'm doing and watch one of their joints, man. So there's so many fucking good battlers, bro.
Dope.
Fresco was always, I loved Fresco's battles. Like,
Yeah, you teamed up with him back in the day.
Yeah. So he was good.
Did you have other? I guess you've probably had a lot of other 2-on-2 partners over the years.
A couple, not a lot. Roan, I battled with Roan, Sonny Bamboo, and fuck, that might be it, man.
Well, you already answered that question about SoulCon. I was going to ask you if there's ever been a gay battler.
Well, there's a handful of them now. Like,
Yeah.
there's a handful.
There's so much homophobia in hip hop, so it makes it like it makes you wonder, like, how could you succeed? It gets back to this idea of having exploitable weaknesses.
Yeah.
So everybody has exploitable weaknesses. I think people probably talk about your ears and the fact that you
Teaching
teach
and
school,
shit,
right?
right.
It's like, and that you're from Pittsburgh, maybe. I don't know. I don't see it as a negative, but whatever. That to me would feel like almost like an insurmountably exploitable weakness in this culture.
No, there's a battle rapper named J2 in the, I don't know if it's URL or whatever. I mean, completely out the closet, like literally says you gay things to other battlers.
Yeah.
Like, times have changed for sure. I mean,
Cool. That's great.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
There's definitely a handful.
All right, last question. Damn, I can't believe we got to run this back, man. This was so much fun.
Got you, man.
Dude, thank you so much.
Got you for sure, bro.
Wow. I think about maybe like a battler being like a caricaturist. So when you're like on the street, you're looking at somebody's face and you immediately can pick out what's the most remarkable feature.
Mm-hmm.
And then you draw it big or something like that.
Right.
Right. So is that an actual talent that a battler has in order to be good? And what would mine be?
Ooh, shit. So from a physical standpoint, right? Like it's easy to like pick on someone's like exaggerated, but that's almost from like the Scribble Jam.
Yeah, that's
right?
old school.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
We've advanced.
Right. It would all depend, man, on the kind of crowd you wanted to go in front of, right? So like, You know, obviously, I think like if we were to like if I was set up to battle you, I'd have
Yeah.
to probably take the approach of like going against the hospital kind of thing, right? And make it like a I'm
Nice.
fine, right? I'd have to take
Nice.
like a mean like this is what you do, and embellish it. You know what I mean? And to make like. And then you clickbait it, right? With like a guy against tells doctor off, like that kind of thing. That would probably be the most effective. Just like that's probably why people go at me with the teaching thing.
Yeah.
And they choose, that avenue, right?
Thank you so much for what you do for the art, for music, for hip hop in Pittsburgh, but also just for like hip hop in general. I see like battling as being really one of the last pure pieces of hip hop that's left.
Right.
And so I'm really grateful for like all the sacrifices that you've made to keep it alive.
No, man. Thank you. Thank you for your time for sure, man. Appreciate you.
All right. We've got Trevor Weller Jr. Young Trev. Dude, the football shit has been very impressive.
Yeah.
Are you all city?
Yeah.
Beyond all city?
Nah, not quite.
Center.
Yeah.
Offensive line.
First team all city center.
That's amazing. Your
Thank
dad did it too.
Yeah.
He wasn't a center.
No, he was.
Crazy.
He just wasn't as good as me. No. Not
Well,
weird.
You had
it's
his
a big
example.
legacy thing. Yeah. Both wore number 55, both center. Didn't you switch to center senior year only?
No, I was center. I became center junior year. He switched senior year. He was tackle. So he moved inside the center.
Mm.
Yeah.
CQ exchange.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
It's important. The start of every play.
That it is, yeah.
You're kind of like you're not the pitcher because the pitcher is more like the quarterback. You're like a catcher
Right, yeah.
because you're
I throw
involved
the
in
number
every
out.
play.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fun too.
Yeah.
I get to do the dirty work.
Yeah, I think I mean it's really cool to see. Are you going to do college or what's your plan?
I'm still going back and forth about it. I don't know. Cuz like my end goal is I want to be a successful director/actor. That's like the big thing. The big screen is calling me and I heard it. So now it's just time to chase it.
So just movies or are you interested in TV too?
I'm interested in what I can be involved in. I'm happy to be involved in whatever. I've done like small like Facebook's ads just for I'm the intro voice on a stage play right now, so they kind of play my clip over and over every time they rerun the episode or do a new episode. I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do whatever.
Amazing. Are you like what part are you interested in? Is it the talent side? Are you interested in editing, in directing, in producing?
I mean, it's kind of all of it, to be honest.
Just want to get involved.
Yeah. I want my name to be a part of something great in the movie world. I love movies.
What'd you think about
So
the what the fuck? The director of E.T.
Who's that, Spielberg?
Yeah, Spielberg's latest movie where he talks about growing up in that Jewish
Was that
household.
the, Fablemans?
Incredible, right?
I
Did
actually
you love
haven't
it?
Seen it.
Oh,
Yeah,
it tells the entire story of how he becomes interested in the movies.
that's what I've heard. Yeah, I heard it's
It-
like his story
It's
to becoming
unbelievable.
Spielberg.
There's this great, like the final kind of reveal. Everybody's seen it now. It's an old movie, basically. I mean, it's a year old.
Yeah.
Is the director that he looks up to talking to him in his office. And he goes, he's been waiting to get an interview. He's been waiting to get a chance to talk to this guy for years. He finally gets it. And the guy tells him one thing. He goes, see this shot? And it's a shot looking straight at somebody. He goes,
Right.
this is boring. He goes, see this shot? And it's a shot way up
Tilted
high
it
with
up.
just a little bit of sky. This is interesting.
Mm.
And then he says, see this shot? And it's another shot where you can see the person and a ton of sky.
Yeah.
This is also interesting. And that's it.
That's really cool.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
It tells you
Makes all the
something's
sense in the
coming,
world.
maybe. Or I don't know exactly what it is, but I think that was like a big part of what Spielberg maybe wanted to do.
So my son is very good at voice impressions, right? So I figured we would spitball. We would let him direct his own situation here, right? So like just the dialogue of it. So I'll throw out some impressions.
Yep.
And then maybe you can jump in and throw out how they're feeling or what has happened. And he can kind of run with the dialogue of it. You know what I'm saying? So we'll
Incredible.
just create something
Yeah. Build something on the fly.
from nothing, right? So
All right.
we're going to start off. I'm going to say Peter Griffin, Shaquille O'Neal, and Elmo
Strong 3.
have arrived at a frat house. Okay.
All right.
They're arriving at a frat house. They're not part of the frat, and they want to see if they can get in.
All right. So here's the thing. Shaquille, I know you went to LSU. Elmo, I know you're like 4 or something. I've never been in a frat house, so I don't know like the ins and outs. I know like I think a keg is a real thing. It's not like a large quantity of beer.
Yeah, it's like pretty big amount of beer. Like, it's kind of like the rite of passage to get in.
Elmo lives on Sesame Street.
Elmo
Yeah.
doesn't drink, but Elmo has taken some edibles on his way to this frat house. Now they get to the door, and the person answering the door is none other than Optimus Prime. So they have to convince Optimus Prime they're not part of this frat, but they would like to get into the party.
Who are you? This is Big Shaq, like Big Shaquille O'Neal, NBA TNT, Superman. I'm gonna be here all day. It's Big Shaq. Here with my friends Peter and Elmo.
There's so many colors.
Elmo, this is my turn.
What do you want?
Now Sam Elliott comes over because he's so drunk that he thinks Shaquille O'Neal is a friend of his, but he's actually mistaken him for somebody else. So they get into the party. Right now, there is a beer pong game going on.
Okay.
Eddie Murphy, he is on a team that's winning against Robert Downey Jr.'s team. And the team of Peter Griffin, Shaq, and Elmo want next.
Okay. So I can't really remember what the score is specifically, but I know you're a cheater. I know you're cheating. The entire game you've been cheating, and I just want that to be known. Now, see, what I don't really get is, how the hell do you cheat at beer pong? Think I got a magnet inside a damn ball? How you going to accuse me of cheating at beer pong? Look, man, I don't know. I'd love to chat with you about it after the game. I'd love to know the ins and outs. But wait, what are those guys doing over there?
Somebody just ordered pizza because there's a rumbly in somebody's tongue. I think it's Winnie the Pooh is hungry.
Oh, bother.
So Winnie the Pooh,
Oh, I ordered this an hour ago.
he's trying to decide which pizza he needs.
Should I go with the pepperoni? Or should I go with the honey-covered pizza? I didn't think they had honey-covered pizza.
Okay, now at this point, Elmo has found a seat on the couch, and the edibles are starting to wear off. But Stewie Griffin is proposing that he takes a couple more edibles.
You see, you're kind of coming down. I can see it in your overall bodily language.
Yeah, almost kind of like he was here, now he's like here. So it's starting to like calm down.
What if we just take like 3 more? How'd you feel about that?
Seth Rogen has just brought the pepperoni pizza. He's at the door. He's looking for who ordered this. He would like to speak to Winnie the Pooh, and he's trying to get a good tip.
I mean, it's not really my fault, man. They gotta cook the pizza. I just drive it, all right? I really think I should still get the tip. And,
Holy crap! You're like the Winnie the Pooh, the honey guy. That's why there's honey on this pizza. We don't usually do that.
Now all of a sudden, the guy Attenborough, who narrates
David Attenborough.
David
yeah.
Attenborough, right? So he's going to narrate.
BBC.
Yeah, he's narrating this now, this entire situation from the outside.
Okay. As Seth Rogen haggles over his potential tip price, Shaquille O'Neal, Peter Griffin, and Elmer Monster still try and play in that beer pong game that Eddie Murphy has allegedly cheated in. See, man, I don't like that, man. Why am I always the cheating guy? I still don't get how the hell I'm cheating. How do I do that? How do y'all think I figured that out? Ain't no damn astrophysicist. Whatever the hell that means.
I got
Wow. That was amazing.
Thank you.
Wow. incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's such a dope talent, and very rare. I think being able to keep those together in your mind and have all the different like shapes of your mouth, the different shapes of your like the way that your
Yeah.
vocal cords have to work together, and then keeping it straight with the like not just the sound of the voices, but the mannerisms and like the appropriate things that they would say is like it's an intellectual kind of challenge, which is really
Yeah.
pretty impressive.
It's definitely like the underrated side of what goes into it. Because I could sit here all day and be like, my name's Kermit the Frog. I kind of want to go eat at Permane Brothers. But like, when would he ever say that? So you got to be like, oh, Miss Piggy, I'm a little hungry. So you really got to like,
Oh, hey, it's Kermit the Frog here.
yeah, and you got to like flail, occasional Muppetisms.
Yeah, that's really dope. I think it would fit well with like sketch comedy, anything like Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, that's the end goal, to be honest. Well, I know I said directing, acting is the
Yeah.
end goal.
but you just write,
help
right?
each other
You know,
out.
they're writers, right? Like they're not
Yeah.
really like actors. And like 90% of the people just write on there. I feel like, and so that's what I think where you would want to go with that. is
Yeah,
just,
John
like,
Mulaney used to be
right,
a writer
right,
on
right.
the show.
Exactly. Yeah, just keep writing. Get a typewriter. Get away so whenever you have a computer, you're always distracted by all this bullshit that's constantly being fed in.
Right.
My wife has like 12 typewriters downstairs. You can take one if you want. I'm kidding. She'll beat the shit out of me.
It's an appropriate response. Like, typewriters are hard to come by. Can't go down to
She has
11.
intellectual connections with them or emotional connections with them, I think. All right. So where should we go to find out more?
Yep, Voices with Trevor, right?
Yeah, Voices of Trevor on TikTok and Instagram. What is the YouTube called? Is it like Trevor Weller Impressions or
Voices with
something?
Trevor, I thought too, right? What do
There's not a whole lot of Trevor Wellers that do impressions. Is the long and short of it.
I think if you just put in Trevor Weller, you
Yeah.
should still-
Dope. Dope.
You'll
Dope.
find me eventually.
And what about for you? How should people kind of join the movement if they're interested?
So if you have a local bar, no, I'm joking. You probably see me in there. I'm Norm. No.
Oh, what bars do you go to around here?
Dude, I'm a Moonlight guy. I love
Oh,
the
you-
Moonlight, bro.
Moonlit
Moonlight right in
Burgers?
Brookline? No, Moonlit Burgers. If I'm going around here, dude, I do karaoke at the Apple occasionally.
Oh,
dude.
cool. Okay. Never been in there.
Yeah. Other than
J-Mo's?
Albert's is cool.
Never see you in there.
J-Mo's is all right.
Okay.
J-Mo's is all right. It's like J-Mo's is cool, but Albert's, I like Albert's, man.
Let me know.
Dude,
I'm ready.
dude, 100%.
I've got-
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Although I keep on saying I'm not going to drink in 2024. We'll see how it goes. I don't know.
People say a lot of
I
things
think-
before 2024.
Alcohol it harms my powers of intuition, like my ability to anticipate what's coming next, to know who's good for me to be around and who's not, like those type of things. I think alcohol impedes that, but it's also really fun, and it's like chicken. I think like eating chicken makes you a more interesting, like better person. Like not more interesting, but it just makes you like less shitty to be around.
No
Like,
doubt.
I don't eat chicken. It's like, that's what's for dinner, bro. Like, just eat chicken. Be more cool. Right? That's kind of how I feel about
Yeah.
alcohol.
I'm not mad at
But don't drink until you're turned 21.
There it is. There
Yeah.
it is.
Unless you join the
Almost-
military.
almost
That's what I
on my
told my
cover.
boy. If you're in the military, you can drink at 18.
I don't
If you're
see-
18 with a fucking rifle in
yeah, who's
Iraq,
gonna stop? Right.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna.
Who's my hey, dude? Like, is that a Bud Light in your hand as well? Like, you're out of pocket.
That would be extreme, I think.
Right.